Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Hey, good afternoon. Happy Friday.
Good.
It's Friday.
It's been a quick week.
Has it? I've got hair all over the place, you guys.
It's
I'm sorry.
always all over the
I know.
place.
I'm struggling because these people, you people, force me to grow out the mop. What's going on? How is everybody?
You asked.
Hi, Darius. Good to see you. Hi, Tiedman. What's going on, Demanda girl? Annie. Hello, Annie. Hi, Lisa Copenhaver. Good to see you, sweetheart. Can I tell you guys?
No.
I have to read this to you. So we got a wedding invitation in the mail. You can be on this.
Don't do it.
Dear Wendy and Brock, it seems only fitting to invite both of you to my upcoming wedding since I share 3 hours of my days with you. What? More like 17 hours a week if you count the weeks you have the pet show with the pet doc and your Weekend with Wendy show. My cousin introduced me to your show in September 20. I've been hooked ever since. And she goes on to say other things. Thank you both for always showing up for the very much loved and appreciated Wendy Bell radio program. And the wedding already happened. So not like we were going to travel, but it's in Bethpage, Tennessee. And this is Donna and Gary. And it's Dawna, Donna. And I went on Donna's registry to see if we could get her a gift. And like the only thing that's left is like $500. Like, what? Donna, you gotta help a sister. I thought it would be cute if I sent a gift, so maybe I will still do that. But that was just like the cutest thing. I mean, honestly,
you know what?
Who gets that? Who gets that?
I think we should send
what
you're going to give me.
Oh, you want me to send her the Chef IQ?
I think we send her the Chef IQ.
Okay.
Are you down with that?
Absolutely.
All right, Dawn.
Donna, Dawna. Yes, Donna.
This is for your husband.
Brock would say it like Dawna.
Dawna.
So I'm not going to do that
Donna.
to you. That's just the cutest thing. I'm deeply gratified by that. Thank you so much. That was just...
Send her some massage oils. Look at people giving your massage oils away.
Darius is relentless. Relentless. Another reason for you to come to Tennessee. Tennessee.
Holy cow.
What?
Cousin Allison's here.
Cousin Allison? Where have you been?
Yeah. You don't call.
You don't write. You don't show up.
Yeah. Like
oh
this
my
is,
God.
I don't know, like.
Wendy Bell coffee mugs. No.
If I had red hair, I'd be the stepchild.
What does that mean?
Redheaded stepchild?
I know, but for what?
You forget about me, you don't think.
Oh. All right.
Loses its luster when you have to explain it to people.
When does your Casandrinos olive oil come?
I just got a thing this morning that it's shipped.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what I did yesterday. I had this here, I'm taking it home for the weekend. Legitimately, I'm going to drive with it in my lap. And I'm going to be like, you're not going to spill. I'm taking it home because I'm cooking with it this weekend. So I'm taking my Casandrinos olive oil, organic, like a bazillion polyphenol, 75 gillion 5-star reviews, a family, olive groves that they own, that they harvest, that they cold press, all of the olives. They don't add a bunch of jazz to it. If you've never gone and tried some olive oil and been like, that's delicious, because I never have, because it's always been crappy store-bought olive oil. I made a little bit of this with their balsamic vinegar, and I whipped it up with a little bit of Dijon mustard, and I used that as a salad dressing last night. Oh my gosh. Casandrinos.com. Casandrinos.com. Throw in a little /Wendy. You guys, it's not cheap. I'm not going to tell you it's $4. It's not $4. If you've never had good olive oil, do yourself a favor. You, not anybody else. Do it for you. Do it for you. If you cook, if you eat, Casandrinos olive oil. I'm just going to tell you. And he's getting the raspberry, vinaigrette?
And the balsamic and the oil.
with the cute little dobbies on the top.
I bought those too.
Of course you did, because you're married. And women like this stupid stuff.
Right. I'd just be like, here's me putting oil in.
It's so nice. Every now and again, just a little something on your. I don't hide this in the cupboard. It's out. And so's the little balsamic one. It's like,
wow.
It's like, I know. I don't put anything out.
I'm getting all choked up because you're oh my God.
Okay. Is it hot in here? I'm super hot right now.
Cousin Allison, don't blame your job.
Yeah,
you don't
whatever.
work 24 hours a day.
You know what?
Start with your excuses.
We like results. I don't want to hear about I want
my job.
Cousin Allison probably doesn't even know that we're moving our time.
Probably not.
She probably doesn't know that we're on 23 more radio stations.
Here we go. She probably doesn't care.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at me.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Hey!
Well, hello, America. Happy Friday to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain. Welcome home to the one and only Wendy Bell radio program. I mean, how many moms out there, conservative moms out there, have radio shows who get to talk to you 3 hours a day about all the stuff that matters to us? It's common sense. I mean, like, there's me, and you found me, and I'm so glad you did. If this is the first time you've heard us, do me a favor, give me 15 minutes. See if what we talk about on this program resonates with you. Because even if you're a Democrat, and by the way, Democrats are the new Republicans, right? Honest to God, because their party has left them in the dust, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to like this program. WendyBellRadio.com. All 3 hours is live video streamed, and we enjoy having conversations with you in the commercial. So join us, all right? And thank you. Welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, it's really interesting to watch people respond to the news that the Democrat socialist candidates are doing pretty well all across the country, to be perfectly honest with you. We've got Harry coming up in just a few minutes, and he's going to be telling us about how the rest of America feels that's not in that Democrat socialist bucket about this move to the left for the Democrat Party. And then you've got people on the left in the Democrat Party who are acting as though they're totally flabbergasted how this happened. Like, I just don't know. And I'm like, are you dumb? I mean, yeah, but are you really, really dumb? See, you guys on the left, and by the way, we're no great party over here on the right either. We've got our issues, just to be honest, right? But you on the left, you created a generation of crybabies, a generation of victims, of people who believe that they don't have to work hard, but they should get stuff. And that rich people who have stuff because they worked hard for that stuff, they owe part of that stuff to them because they don't really want to work. And I'm like, I'm sorry. That's not how this country was founded. That's not what makes this country extraordinary. That is not why people come here, or until recently when it was all about freebies under Joe Biden, right? So I want to ask you a question here. As the left is like, I have no idea what happened to our party. You guys gave license to rioters and vandals to burn stuff down, to do billions of dollars of damage. You guys invited 20 million people. Are all of them bad people? No. But are a lot of them criminals? Yeah. And you let them get away with everything, including murder and rape and everything else. I mean, really? You guys give license to the ne'er-do-well college protester who's never really had a job but thinks they know better than everybody else because they learned something from some triggered activist professor. You guys did that. We didn't do that. Like, honestly, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever hated someone? I mean, think about it. Really, really hated somebody, right? To the point that you would go and you would cut yourself with a knife, literally put a knife into your body to bleed, to write a message on the Washington Monument. No! Who does that? Crazy people. Have you ever taken some bleach and walked into a neighbor's yard and poured bleach all over their yard? No, you haven't. Why? Because you're not crazy. How about this? Have you ever slashed somebody's tires? Have you ever keyed something into their car? Have you ever defaced their flag or their signs in their yard? Have you ever cut somebody's Christmas lights? No, you haven't. Now, have you gone out on some website and been coordinated to show up at a specific time and grab some bricks that are here stashed in the alleyway in a pallet? Have you ever filled a bottle with your own urine? Right? Have you ever taken rocks somewhere to throw them at somebody else? No, you have not. No matter how much you've hated somebody, right? There are some things you just don't do. There are some things in civilized society you don't do because there is right and there is wrong. And there's not shades of that line. Well, I didn't mean to kill him. Well, you killed him, right? I don't know how you want to litigate this. Well, I didn't know that firebomb was going to hit that police officer in the face. I'm sorry. Actions, results. This is not what the Republican Party is about. Much we could say, if we're being honest, and I'm going to be honest because I always am, to the dismay of Republicans, to the dismay of conservatives and MAGA. We don't necessarily want people to go out and create havoc. I don't expect you to take a box cutter to something and go, I don't expect you to throw paint on the Mona Lisa. I don't expect you to glue your hands to a bridge. And I sure as hell don't expect you to do anything violent in a crowd that would cause chaos. But we've been hungry for any of these rhinos, these white bread, vanilla, just awful, do nothing, John Thune style Republicans. We're tired of them. That doesn't mean we're going to go carve our bodies so we can write blood messages. That happened. Did you guys know that? Like, all this stuff is coming out about the vandalism of the Washington Monument, of the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, right? All of this stuff is coming out. Somebody literally goes over to the Washington Monument and in blood writes, "I've come." Okay, that's kind of scary, isn't it? This is what we're dealing with in this country. The time for rational conversation, the time to sit down and deliberate. Let's hash out our differences. Pal, that train left about 10 years ago when you guys went after Donald Trump. Why? Because he decided to go down that damn escalator and stand in the gap between you and crazy. And he said, I will be your salvation. I will take the bullets. Literally, I will be your last line of defense. I will be your voice. I will be your freaking warrior. And we said, yeah, we created that. Democrats have created crazy. And crazy has come home to roost. And it's frightening. Did you guys see what Trump put out last night? This is great Truth Social. I was like, holy cow. It's almost like the dude is expecting all of this crazy communist, Marxist, socialist garbage. And he writes this: the communists are finally making their move. I've been waiting and preparing for this for a long time. What? Wait, what? The communists are finally making their move. I've been waiting and preparing for this for a long time. It's easy to be a communist. All you have to do is say, I'll give you everything. But that means that you are taking it away from others who have earned it. Over thousands of years, that ideology has not worked once. And then he drops this line, 4 words. And Brock and I were like, oh, snap. It is. He writes, the game is on. Enjoy watching. President Donald J. Trump. Enjoy watching. What do you guys think is coming? What do you think this whole grand celebration upcoming next weekend for America's 250th? What do you believe we are going to watch? I have no idea. But for the president to be like, I've been waiting for these people to show their colors means to me, holy cow. So look, on today's program, as Democrats are mystified, they have no idea what happened to their party. I'm just going to say this, and I think it's probably one of the smartest things I read. I actually stole it. Let me find out, and I'm going to say it the right way. Because now your parties have changed. MAGA are the new Republicans. Rhinos are the old Democrats. And Democrats are the new socialists. Oh my gosh. So which side do you guys prefer? Do you want law and order and family and faith and stay out of my way and small government? I'm going to carry a gun, and if you fiddle with me, you're not going to like that. Do you want that? Do you want a court that supports the rule of law? Do you want police officers making your street safe? Do you want schools that actually teach a curriculum and not an ideology of hate? Or do you like what you're saying on the other side? People with blue hair, covered in tats, piercings all over the place, pissed always, looking like they, in a minute, could galvanize some kind of a movement to tear down a building, set something on fire, blow out some windows, or just steal a bunch of crap. Which side, ladies and gentlemen? Because to me, the choice is clear. And Trump knows exactly what's coming. Enjoy watching, he said. Oh my gosh. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, so this whole socialism thing. Yeah, the Democrat socialists are like, this is so great. But what about the rest of the country? Yeah, not so much. Harry with the big board next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Like literally, who goes to the Washington Monument is like, or, whatever.
What did I say to you?
Huh?
Sounds like a bad TV show.
Yeah. That's what you're living in. You're living in a program. This is, telling you what, it's got to be a simulation because
we got to say this real quick.
Oh my.
T Brooks 123 threw $10. You do me a favor and give a shout out to brother Kevin.
Hi, brother
He's
Kevin.
Listening for the first time.
Brother Kevin, as in like brother Kevin or his brother Kevin?
I don't know. I just read it.
Can we have a little edification? Because if I'm going to do in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, we all did that, right? Hi, brother Kevin. Or if it's just
his
Kevin.
Brother Kevin.
Kevin.
Be like, what's up, Kev?
Kev, you need to get one, babe. You sound like a meat man to me. Griller, 100%. Griller, and I don't even know you, but I got a vibe. I know what you like, Kevin. You know what you like. You like meat. You like meat that you buy, that you don't destroy, that you don't overcook. And you like meat that you put a thing in and it tells you everything to do. Time to flip. Time to take it off. Time to let it rest. Okay, enjoy your meat. That's it. The 250th anniversary, the birthday celebration, Chef IQ Sense. I'm telling you what, somebody in your life, you love them very much. Could be you. 40% off right now. I've never seen it before. ChefIQ.com. He's got a QR code. It's also in the notes here below us. ChefIQ.com. Promo code Wendy knocks out that 40%. You save $80. This comes down 3 prongs. I'd open it up and all the little stars inside would fall out. And it annoys me. One of the greatest things I've ever had in my life, and perhaps it's going to be a wedding gift for Donna. Donna, I'm just going to touch it a lot and then I'm going to send it to you. Okay? I'll wipe it with Sniper first. ChefIQ.com, 40% off. You guys, you know you've got to get it. All right, so why do we want to talk to Kevin? He's first time listening.
What took him so long?
That's what I asked President Trump. When he called in, I'm like, hello, Mr. President. Just let's begin. What took you so long? And I remember
Did Donna say what her name was?
her name?
Is she on this? Where's she watching?
Let me see. No, she doesn't tell me what her handle is. She likes your Pittsburghese because her uncle, Robert, she remembers him fondly, and he was from here. So
I do it for you, Donna. I do it for you.
what do you mean you do it for her? What?
Pittsburghese.
Oh, Jeff Verzilla is out at Channel 4. Okay. Whatever. You guys, the local news business is not sustainable. Everybody's going to be carved out. You're going to have bare bones. People making crap money doing multiple jobs. Yeah. Time to bail. I do not take joy in that. Stuff, which he calls communist, which he's right. I mean, it's just like one hop, skip, and a jump away, right? And he's like, look, I've been waiting for these people to come out of the woodwork. I've been waiting. I've been waiting for this moment. It's here, and I cannot wait because we're going to have a lot of fun with this. Oh, my. Sounds very confident. Well, so New York's lunge towards socialism. You know, it's really not something the rest of America is digging so much. Why liberals are now looking mighty moderate. If you look at it, Harry Enton says, look, Democrats might approve of socialism and socialists, but if you look at the aggregate voters, all voters as a group, there's not the same love there at all. You don't say. Really?
When we talk about democratic socialists, how are they perceived?
You know, I will tell you, there is a reason why Republicans nationwide are licking their chops and why there are at least some Democrats who are a little bit worried, because what is true in New York City in a Democratic primary ain't necessarily true nationwide with the general electorate. I mean, just take a look here. Net favorable rating of Democratic Socialists. If you look at Democrats nationwide, look at this. Democratic Socialists are on the positive side of the ledger at plus 17 points. This includes Democratic-leaning independents. But look at all voters. A completely different world. 27 points underwater Democratic Socialists of America are in the net favorable rating. So what are we talking about? A 44-point difference here in the wrong direction when we come to Democratic Socialists of America, jumping from being pretty popular among Democrats to being not popular at all among all voters.
I really struggle with what anybody who knows anything about history or just logic, what you would find appealing other than the pie in the sky promises made by that whole ideology. What is the whole socialist thing? We're going to promise you a bunch of stuff, right? You don't have to work for it. You don't have to get out of the basement. You don't have to stop pulling bong hits. You keep doing whatever it is you're doing. We see you. We understand you. Oh, yeah, we got you. We're going to make sure. See, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to these rich people. Like, how much money do you need? I mean, like, right? And we're going to take a bunch of their money, and then we're just going to sprinkle it around, and you'll really never have to do anything again. We're going to freeze rent. We're going to make everything free. We're going to control food. You'll never have to worry about anything again. No supply chains. And it's going to be fantastic. And they promise the universe, but they deliver nothing. They deliver nothing except the growth of government and the expansion of control over your individual freedom, period. And there are 17%, 17, like by 17 points, Democrats are like, yeah, we like socialism because you're stupid. Okay. I'm just going to make sure you know you're stupid if you think that's good. Okay. Now, Harry continues and he's like, do people even like the word socialism? Yeah, not so much. In fact, it seems Democrats like the concept far more than everyone else, including independents. And the GOP is watching this.
One of the trends that we have seen is among Democrats, socialism has become more popular over the last decade and a half. But what about the rest of the electorate? And this, I think, gives the game away right here. Okay, positive view of socialism. Among Democrats, look at this. Up considerably from where we were in 2010, 50% to now 66% now. That's a jump of 16 points in a decade and a half. But look at all others. The number is the same. It was 29% back in 2010. It's 30% now. Socialism has become increasingly popular among Democrats, but it is a much tougher sell in the rest of the electorate. It's a much tougher sell among independents, and this is why Republicans actually think that there could be some electoral opportunities because of these Democratic Socialists winning primaries, and why there are a number of mainstream Democrats who are going, I'm not quite sure about that.
So last year, Gallup polled this. All voters say 30% have a positive view of socialism. What do I say? There's a chunk of the population that's not going to be saved. They're never going to understand what's going on. And I liken it to between a quarter and 30%. Well, that's about it, because nowhere historically has socialism done anything other than draw a very big amount of money into a government and then basically leave the people as paupers. And you've got this then government police state that runs everything. Who wants that? 30% of voters? Are you out of your mind? And then Harry's like, look, is socialism only a popular concept in New York City? I believe that's what John Berman asks him. Well, let's find out.
When it comes to the popularity of democratic socialism, that may stay in the major urban corridors. But when it comes to it being an issue that people are being talking about, this is why I think Republicans really like what's going on here. And this is because take a look at Google searches for the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, up like a rocket, up 140% from when Mamdani, who of course burst on the scene about a year ago, up 140% from his primary win. And again, we're going to highlight it right here. Reached an all-time high this week. More people are interested in finding out more about democratic socialism than they ever have been in the United States of America. And given what you see in a slide like this, where you see, hey, you know what, there's still socialism isn't popular, and when you see, oh my goodness gracious, among all voters, it really isn't popular, Democratic Socialists of America, that's why Republicans are saying, hey, there could be electoral opportunities here.
And you know, it was interesting, too, who showed up for the socialist candidates in New York? Well, it was primarily affluent young college graduates, black and white, which means the clone troopers who've been groomed to believe a specific ideology, well, their homing chips have been activated and they showed up to hit the polls. Everybody else was like, oh, wait, today was primary day. Those folks were ready, locked and loaded. And by the way, the prediction markets say with 4 incumbent Democrats now felled by Democrat Socialists of America candidates, what's the chance that we could actually see as many as 6 House Democrats booted by socialists? Prediction markets say it's 66% right now. What? Well, now the video of the day, audio of the day is coming up next. This is how you fight crazy. You don't yell, you don't swear, you just do your research and you come prepared. Next. Brock shared this video with me and I shared it with Joe because he just got a ticket because some traffic camera showed him passing a school bus that was pulled over. And he was driving next to a Port Authority bus. And so he was blinded, couldn't see the school bus, and he gets ticketed. And so he tries to be like, look, I didn't know there was a bus there because I was driving next to a Port Authority big bus. I could not see what was going on over there. And they're like, sucks to be you. $250, please. And there's no way to fight it. There's no way to argue it. And that's what this guy is doing. These AI red light cameras nabbed him for doing something that he didn't do. And instead of rolling over and just succumbing to the bill, he fought back. And it's a thing of beauty. It's the difference between conservative and liberal, I think. Liberals don't come prepared like that. They come with urine-filled bottles or bricks, or signs by Crowds on Demand or Indivisible and the No Kings clowns, right? But they They don't come for this. They don't come for this. And I think that's also what got Charlie Kirk killed. Apparently, death penalty is not thrown out in the case against Tyler Robinson. That just breaking a little while ago, which is important. Okay, I want to tell you guys about drinkltv.com. And these people are very interested in connecting with you. They reached out specifically and they're like, look, I really do believe that your audience would appreciate hearing about this product. Would you please talk about us a few more times? And I'm like, absolutely, because I think it's something that we all need to talk about. And it has to do with your liver. Right? You think about your liver as it turns into alcohol. How do you process different things? But I didn't realize that dehydrated liver can show you all the telltale signs of like getting older. You kind of slow down. You don't have as much energy. You sort of like, ugh. You're like, well, I guess it's just chalking it up to getting older. And they're like, no, you could have a liver that's literally screaming for hydration. And when your liver's dehydrated, pretty much everything suffers. Your energy tanks, your digestion slows. You bloat. Do you get bloated really easily and you can hold on to stubborn weight? Your skin looks dull and you really end up feeling older than you actually are. But this is something that's not just another electrolyte powder. It's a daily hydration drink. It's called LTV and it combines clinical dose marine electrolytes with taurine. And that helps your cells actually hold on to water. And then they throw other things like milk, thistle, and dandelion root to support your liver's natural detox function. So it's like a cleanse for your liver. And it's saying, come on in hydration. We're going to get you feeling good again and get your liver moving the way it should. I think it's phenomenal. You can say hello then to real energy, smoother digestion, and a body that actually feels hydrated for the first time in years. So the guy behind this, Dr. Josh, he's got 25 years of experience doing this kind of research. If you'd like to give this a shot, and I think it's fascinating, drink LTV, LTV.com, drinkltv.com/Wendy. There is up to 64% off. Right now, limited time offer. That's probably the best deal we've got going on all of our sponsors. drinkltv.com/Wendy.
You know what pisses me off about those cameras? We have the right to confront our accuser. How do you confront? Like, that's the argument right there. That's the ball game right there. I can't confront my accuser.
I agree.
When's the last time that's been calibrated? How do I know that who's running the camera?
Well, and then this guy, he goes a little further. Like, I think if we're really going to win, not only do we need to show up, not only do we need to participate, we need to go the next step. Don't count on your neighbor to do the homework. This guy did his homework. He researched who this company was with these red light cameras in his Alabama community. And he followed them, and it's international. And he's like, wait a minute, I can't pay with cash? You're supposed to pay anything federal. You're supposed to be able to pay with cash. And they were like, no, sorry. So he just drops up on the city council meeting. And it's a blueprint for how to take frustration and twist it around to make change. That's it. And I love that there's no swearing, there's no rudeness, there's no in your face. He just drops the stuff that he's learned, and I'm sure this city council was like, and then the line of all lines, I'll be back for the next meeting too. It's like, what? Who is this guy? It's like that woman, that black woman at the city council meetings, Ms. Jones or whatever her name is. They know her because she's totally educated on everything. And she's like, and I see you over there smiling. I don't know why you're smiling. You just voted. Blah, 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 blah. And you're like, holy moly. We have to take our stuff back. We have to take it back. Enough.
Do you see in Pittsburgh, they're trying to make Pittsburgh City Council's a part-time job. They're trying to make it full-time. They're voting themselves full-time. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work out well.
I do hate most people. I really don't, but it feels good to say it. You know, I hate everyone. I'm like, yeah, makes me feel so much better. Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. WendyBellRadio.com. You can also find our podcast wherever you get your favorite listening material. Just plug in our name. 8.2 million downloads, by the way, which is fantastic. So glad to be with you. Okay, so I want to start this segment with the greatest audio of the day. And I love when someone is wronged by something. And then they, instead of being angry and yelling and being destructive and disrespectful, they start doing research. And this video is of a man at his Alabama community city council meeting. And he explains why he's there. Now, if you guys have in Pittsburgh, like where I am, they have red light cameras now. So if you run the red light or you Scooby through when it's turning and you kind of miss the mark, you're going to get a ticket in the mail. Well, that's what happened to this fellow, except it was wrong. And so he tried to fight it. And good luck if you want to try to fight something like that, because the system is designed for you to be guilty and for you to just cough up whatever payment is so they get off your back. Yeah, they weren't banking on this fellow who gives us all a really great assignment in research. Listen.
Now, I'm going to be a little bit meaner than them, so please don't violate my rights. Normally, I wouldn't come to a city council meeting. I'm one of the county's pains in the ass. Historically, I stay out of the city, and the city stays out of my business. It was a pretty decent arrangement. But then y'all sent me one of these tickets from one of your AI red light cameras you have deemed as necessary infrastructure in your city. Thing about this is I was in Seminole, Alabama at the time I allegedly ran this red light downtown. How can I be in two places at once, you ask? Don't worry, I asked myself that too. Outside of Scotty beaming me up 30 miles in an instant, the only logical conclusion is I wasn't there. These things have been deemed unconstitutional for this reason, because the enforcement action of 316.0083 unduly shifts the burden of proof to the vehicle owner, me, to prove my innocence rather than the state having to prove my guilt. Currently, I'm guilty by default. I've been convicted by a computer program. Usually this whole mess of who committed the infraction is settled by a police officer pulling somebody over and actually witnessing them in the driver's seat. The AI camera doesn't do any driver verification whatsoever. To get your constitutionally mandated due process, you have to jump through hoops put up by Automated Enforcement Division, a private company in Orlando that's owned by another corporation called Novoa Global, which is owned by a Chilean-Swedish millionaire named Carlos Hofstedt. So not only does this process flow through a private company, our DMV records and personal registration information are accessible by a foreign actor. But anyway, AED sends you this paper, and if you want to fight this thing because you are wrongfully accused, me again, you can't just request a hearing through PPD or the courthouse. Remember, Carlos is involved, so if you have to go through his company, his website, print off his paper, fill it out with enough information to take out a home loan, have it notarized, mail it to the foreign actor, Carlos in Orlando, and then wait for something from someone to tell you about a hearing. This is undue burden even to begin to try to get some kind of due process. Paying is super easy though, go figure. And about that, you can't pay cash. PPD doesn't accept it, and neither does Carlos. According to 31 USC 5103, all U.S. currency and coins must be accepted for all government obligations, fines, fees, taxes, and due. So not only does this whole thing violate constitutional due process, it violates federal law by not accepting U.S. currency to satisfy a government action. Whoever thought this was a good idea is a self-loathing, America-hating, bureaucratic hobgoblin whose pockets probably got stacked with Carlos bucks. You got my attention, though. I'm going to become a more frequent voice down here working to expose frauds and petty tyrants. Congratulations, you all got yourselves a new pain in the ass.
Oh my gosh, right? That's it. That's it. He speaks for how many hundreds of thousands of us who are like, I didn't vote in this system. And how is the burden on me now to prove my innocence? The burden should be on you to prove without doubt my guilt. This is that slow erosion of your basic rights. And that gentleman just did masterclass expose on how to fight back. What can you say to that? Nuh-uh. I mean, like, what's the rebuttal? There isn't one. You suck. I'm going to call you out on your suck. And oh, by the way, there's not a snowball's chance in hell I am paying this bill. And if you want to, we can elevate this onto every television channel that you want. I'll put it all over social media, or you can change the system. I don't know. I got to follow this guy. So now, did you hear what's going on in New York? These Democrat Socialists of America / communists. They're not happy just winning some primaries. No, siree. They've got Kathy Hochul in their crosshairs. They're coming for her. Literally, that's a direct quote. We're coming for you. It's so freaky, isn't it? So Mayor Mamdani's socialist cronies have vowed now to target Governor Kathy Hochul to push her onto their tax the rich crusade as the comrades boast that they control the Big Apple. Democrat Socialists of America leader Gustavo Gordillo, who we featured yesterday, warned Hochul that the emboldened far-left group will target her next after their candidates upset establishment Democrats in several key races in Tuesday's primaries. She knows we're coming for her. You created that, Kath. You Democrats, you created that monster. And now it's growing. And now it thinks it's winning. And now it's going to squash you. And you're going to look to us and say, oh no, we've demonized guns and everything our whole lives. We've got no way to protect ourselves. It sort of kind of feels like, oh, I don't know. So much of what went down in World War II, right? Going to lug everybody away. Who's going to be left to protect you? Nobody. Stephen A. Smith is like, look, this New York socialist thing, this is not the path Democrats want to carry or travel. He's like, this is just ridiculous. No duh, Stephen A.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me be very, very clear. If the Democratic Party becomes the likes of Zoran Mamdani, who, by the way, I like, not trying to throw any shade on him or anything like that, but if the Democratic Party becomes him, you have no chance. You have no chance on a national basis in terms of the presidency. In Senate seats in the House, you have no chance. You have no chance. I want to be very, very clear about that. You might have a Democratic socialist sprinkled here and there, but that ain't what America is. America's about capitalism. America's about dollars and cents. America's about an economy, a flourishing economy. Okay? And you know what it's not about? Free stuff. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it.
You, Stephen A., when everybody was gleeful over the Obama money, I got me an Obama phone. Because that's what exactly he ran on, right? Hope and change and free stuff, Stephen A. It's so funny now you've got your unnies in a little bit of a bunch looking at this. How do you say you like Zoran Mamdani? He is a threat to the American way of life. There's nothing to like about that. Well, I'm sure he's a nice neighbor. No, I don't like you. You are a threat to our system. Beat it. Here's Caitlin Collins over on CNN. She's got Pocahontas on, right? Liz Warren is there. And this is how you get the no answer from these people, because they know now they've got no choice. They're stuck with a bunch of clowns and people like Graham Plattner, right? People like that, they're stuck with these people and they can't come out and be like, yeah, I don't really like him. I think his views are dangerous. It's not good for America, because it's all about beating Trump. It's all about winning again and starting the impeachment process and unraveling all of this stuff and funding all of these businesses, all of these agencies like USAID, getting the lights back on. Let's go. Listen to Elizabeth Warren's non-answer answer.
Are Democrats also overlooking, some unsavory things that their own candidates have done? I mean, I'm thinking of one candidate that Mayor Mamdani had backed that won last night in New York, who a CNN K file reviewed hundreds of her posts, Daria Eliza, Chevalier, had a lot of them that said a world without borders and a world without prisons or police is possible if necessary, the only moral way forward. She said abolish the border, all deportation is wrong. I mean, are those sentiments that you think Democratic candidates should hold?
Look, I don't know her. I'm not familiar with what she's written.
I don't know her. I'm not familiar at all. That's total hogwash. Can somebody chip in and get Liz something better than a Dorothy Hamill haircut? Because she's had it. And I know because I had it too, but it was 1977. So anyway, let's talk about this piece of work, Daria Eliza Avila Chevalier. She's one of the socialists who won in New York on Tuesday. Well, so this Andrew Kaczynski, who Caitlin Collins refers to, his K-file report for CNN, he does investigations, and he did some digging into this gal's deleted posts. Deleted posts, why would you delete them? And apparently this piece of work chick has called for the abolishing of all police, for the abolishing of prisons and borders. She tweeted commonly about communism, calls for the open borders, zero deportation. So if some guy comes in your house and murders your daughter, well, I'm sure he's going to be fine. We'll just leave him here. That's what this babe calls for. She's had expletive-laden attacks on Democrats. Then there was during the early months of the pandemic. She posted all sorts of stuff calling for a sweeping government takeover over large parts of the economy. That sounds super duper. And then she reposted advocating nationalizing utilities, hospitals, and pharmaceutical companies, suspending rent and mortgage payments, dissolving private health insurance companies, and seizing all properties from landlords. But wait, it gets worse. Other deleted posts and reposts include references to anti-capitalist policies. In fact, in one April 2020 post, she wrote that while most of the political theory she had read was communist, she says, seize the means of production, a phrase commonly associated with Marxism. And of course, abolishing the police. What could go wrong? Let all the prisoners out. Open up Rikers Island. That's 6,700 people of your favorite kind roaming the streets. I personally don't see what could go wrong. Said only a moron. That's what they voted in. And that's who they are. Right? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, I'm going to play a little James Carville for you because he's not having her either. And then we're going to talk about what they really are. Are they really just self-hating capitalists dressed in communist clothing? Could be. Could be. Wait till you see how this chick's father makes some money. Very capitalist way. Next. You know, anybody who wants to get rid of the police, here's what we're going to do. We're going to create this. We're going to intervene, right? That's what we're going to do. It's funny because in Stanton Heights, on April 4th, 1999. 1999, 2009, 2009. 2009. My birthday, 2009. There was a shooting, a domestic disturbance in a community not far from us. And a police officer was going under the guise of, I'm going to go make sure everything's okay. And he gets shot at and killed. Two other cops come. They get shot. They're killed. If you had sent in a therapist or a community organizer or somebody of that nature, do you think they would have been able to talk that lunatic who killed 3 police officers out of it? No. No. He'd be dead too. Right? So this community policing bullcrap, it's idiotic. What's not is my blood flow 7. I'm just going to say, if you don't sleep well, if you have a hard time tossing and turning at night, and if you have a hard time during the day staying asleep because of it, it happens. It happens commonly, and you go through waves of it, and it's terrible when it happens. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy has this wonderful side effect. Not only does it open up your blood vessels, so significantly more blood flows through your body. And you're like, how do you know that? Oh, you'll know that. You'll know that because it just changes everything. You don't crash in the middle of the day anymore. It's not like that. And so when you're up and you're active and you're working and you're strong, when it's time to turn off the lights, climb into bed, and call it a day, it's like out. I say I don't sleep like a rock. I sleep like a boulder. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. Whether you're feeling like you need more energy, you're slowing down, you'd like to see if you can get more pep in your step, boy, or you want to sleep better, 2 of these capsules, bloodflow7.com/Wendy, 30% off everything in the store. Every day I take it. Every single day. I will not stop. And we are subscribers. I could get it free. And I pay for it because I support them. I believe in this company. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. One of the smartest things I ever did. I'm just going to say, one of the smartest things I ever did. All right. Let's talk about this gal. Daria Liza Avila Chevalier. Her dad's a capitalist. Her dad knows how to make money.
How did he go to school for 12 years? Of course he is.
She's getting her PhD in like sociology or whatever. After getting a bachelor's in
Middle Eastern studies.
Thank you. I could do a lot with that.
Listen, I said this to Wendy this morning. Isn't it funny that Democrats are for taking over everything? Let's see if anyone knows what they're for states' rights for. That should tell you everything. Voting. That's the only time they want to give the states the rights to do whatever they want.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
That's why I made it.
Wow. Hey, Froggy, I'm going to use part of your donation from yesterday to buy him a couple beers after work. And I want to thank you for that. On the left of the political spectrum, you got some problems because that guy is kooky as the day is long. Widely heralded for helping Bill Clinton win the presidency in 1992. He's been an exercise in the de-evolution of a man into just a whining, toxic, liberal pain in the butt. And this is what James Carville has to say about this super wild woman, Daria Liza Villa Chevalier, and how he totally does not share any of her views, nor does he want to be under the big tent of the Democratic Party with her. This is pretty wild.
She has attacked interracial relationships in the American flag. Lady, I ain't in the same party as you. I'm sorry. I just not. And I actually do think it's time for Democrats to talk the S word, schism. I really do. Everybody's always said, no, we're coalition, we're big tent. And there's just some that I can't be in the same tent with.
Well, it's interesting because she talks a good game on socialism, but the New York Post has a pretty interesting article about Daria Liza Avila Chevalier's father, who happens to be a landlord and rents his Miami condo for $1,750 a month, which is kind of interesting because aren't income producing assets exactly what socialists want the government to control? Except her dad, he understands the value of capitalism, and so he's making a pretty good amount of money every month. Let's go. Daria Liza Villa Chevalier once called for the government to seize all properties from landlords, but her father is currently renting his Florida condominium out for $1,750 a month, the Post has learned. The 32-year-old Mamdani-backed Democratic socialist stunned onlookers this week when she defeated 5-term incumbent Representative Adriano Espaillat for the Democratic nomination to represent New York's 13th district, covering Upper Manhattan, parts of the Bronx. Avila Chevalier ran a populist campaign centered on limiting market rate housing and fighting corporate greed. Still, her father owns market rate property and he rents it out at market rate too. Public records show Frank Avila purchased a condominium in Miami in 1998 for $92,900, about $193,000 today. And the unit still sits in a sprawling complex tucked into the very nice neighborhood called Fontainebleau, roughly 10 miles west of downtown Miami. It's a pretty densely urban area. 85% of the residents primarily speak Spanish at home. More than 64% were born outside of the United States. So it's a working class immigrant community, exactly the kind of place that Avila Chevalier says she's fighting to protect from the economic forces of appreciation and displacement. Well, those forces, it turns out, have been very good for Frank, her pops. And now he's kind of changing or charging his tenants a lot of money for this privilege, right? According to Realtor.com and Apartments.com, his unit was recently listed for rent at $1,750 a month and found a new tenant just this month. 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhouse style condo, updated bathrooms, tile floors, assigned parking spot. Beautiful, right? Well, it's so interesting that it's always for thee, but not for me. This is exactly the utter hypocrisy of so many of these clowns who've never actually worked, earned, made, decided, saved, invested, scrimped, scrounged, sacrificed, thought outside the box, rolled the dice, had to get the licensing, had to deal with the permits and the approval, then had to dot all of the I's and cross the T's with insurance and create something. She's a perennial student. She's been getting her PhD for the last 12 years in some kind of sociology, it seems, as she works for the public defender's office. Can you imagine needing a public defender with a MAGA hat on? Yeah, sorry, not going to happen. You know, and it's interesting, too, because the Democrats are trying to say now, well, these Democrat socialists are kind of like what MAGA is to the Republican Party. And I was like, what? Do you understand what MAGA is? MAGA isn't some idea. It is pride of country. It is believing in the founding fathers. It is abiding by the documents that they took the time painstakingly over years to write. It is this notion that if you work hard enough, you can do anything you damn well wish, if you get enough of the government out of your way to do it. That is what MAGA is to me. It's not extreme. It doesn't cost you. It doesn't ask you to sacrifice anything or lay down on an altar. There's a difference. When we come back, hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program. So John Thune has stepped in a giant poo sandwich, and its name is Scott Pressler. Did you guys hear what happened last night? Oh, you will. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. So Brock and I have a mutual friend, socialist guy, who we've liked for many, many years. And we never understood like his socialist ideology when he himself was a landlord. He had made a shrewd decision. He had worked and saved up enough money and bought kind of an affordable, inexpensive duplex. And he lived on one side and worked on the other side and then ultimately rented it out. Well, that's private property. That's your profit. That's you. I thought socialists believed that the government controls everything. Am I wrong?
No.
So then how do you speak?
Well, I ask them, why don't you just let them stay there for free?
Yeah, how do you do that?
You have a job, you can afford to pay the whole thing.
Right on.
Why just not let them live there for free? And Froggy gave $50.
Oh my God.
And
Why?
said Margarita Friday. Okay, I need to explain this to you, Froggy. When you have margaritas with Wendy, $50, not nearly enough. I mean, not even close. So
That's so rude and correct.
Unless she's getting cheap well liquor, yeah, that $50 is gonna go nowhere. I'm not saying give more. I'm just saying that $50 in tequila for Wendy, that's not gonna cut it.
Healthycell.com, healthycell.com. You know, I do not take any prescription medications. I don't take anything for blood pressure, for anxiety. I'm not any hormones after menopause. I'm sure I'm still going through it. It's like forever. I don't do anything. And up until several years ago, I literally took nothing, no vitamins, no nothing, which probably is dumb. And then on this show, as we started growing and growing, some of these companies began reaching out to us, and Healthy Cell was one of these possibilities. And I said to the company, I was like, I love what you're doing. You're taking supplements, things that you might need to take 8 different pills for, and you're putting it into one microgel in a little pouch that you just tear the top off and suck into your mouth. And because of its mode, it's a gel and not a capsule that your gut has to digest. It's absorbed into your bloodstream more quickly, more easily, and the nutrients and supplements get into the cells to make them healthy. Healthycell.com/Wendy. And they sent me some stuff to try. And they had gone over some of the things. And I'm like, sometimes I have a hard time like turning off all the noise and focusing. So they sent me Focus and Recall, and I was addicted to that for a year. Now I'm on calm mood because it just takes down my temperature when I'm fussy. And the REM sleep at night, but there's like 12 different other versions. Check it out, healthycell.com/Wendy. Read the reviews, read what people say. Enjoy getting rid of all of the pills that you might be taking and having one microgel Healthy Cell daily experience. I'm just going to say, it's just that good. Healthycell.com/Wendy. And there's a formula for you for sure. For sure. What are you guys doing? What's up? What's everybody talking about? What can we point whore and get you guys talking about? Thank you for throwing money at us. Ultra MAGA hardcore. Oh, what the hell? I'll throw 10 in on Margarita Friday too. We're getting close. We're only about
We're getting
170
close for Wendy having 1 or 2.
We're almost 100. We're like $170 away from what our bar bill was at the Penguin game. Anywho, it was a fun night. It was a fun night. Fire Brock Day, Goody says. Wow, today's Fire Brock Day. It's true. That's what happens.
Oh, Darius gave $10 Wendy's Margarita Friday Fund.
You're awesome. You know, Froggy started something.
We might have to go somewhere that serves margaritas.
T. Brooks, Darius, Ultra. That was very cute of you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, let's see.
Do they make margaritas with bourbon?
With bourbon? No. I've got a lot going on.
My buddy just gave me a bottle of bourbon from a distillery down by his house.
Oh, that's nice.
And I can't wait to try it.
250 on X. Hi, if you're watching there. It's great to be with you. Okay, seriously, do you think that I'm correct or incorrect when I say it's happening faster? It's going to happen faster. The death of local news. Does anybody see it where they are? We're seeing it where we are. We have 3 local television stations, and I just do not see an appetite for 3.
Everybody now, I don't want to say everybody, the majority of people now are on per story contracts on some of the channels.
It's
where you get paid if you show up. It's like you used to have a salary. Now it's just, did you do a story? Okay, how many stories you do this week? Okay, here's your
right,
your pay.
Yeah, it's changing. It's not.
They don't really give contracts anymore.
You know, and it's
which goes to, let me cut you off for, which goes to show you how weak the union really is.
Oh, I just got my SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, they want me to pay $4,500.
Yeah, I'm
And
like,
I
I'm
was
not
like,
even in your union.
I'm not in your union.
When I got fired from the first place, or when I left the first place, went to the second place, they reached out to start a union with me. And I'm like, it's like 3 people. Like, what do you... What,
With
am I
us?
going to
With
unionize
this?
myself?
With this?
No.
Oh.
The last station that fired us.
Oh. I'm really good for getting people fired, just so you know. How many people? Literally, I do have a kiss of death track record.
I'm not going to complain.
Right?
You're not getting a complaint.
Our voice guy, Kelly, got his job canned after he started working with us.
Well, now if I get fired, it's
Friday. Oh, sorry.
Oh, well.
Too soon? Sorry. His cousin Allison's still here.
I didn't see her.
Whatever. She probably just hopped in
Probably
and then bounced. I know.
No dedication.
I wonder if you guys are seeing it in your communities, this whole death of news. And it's a bummer. But, I mean, do you really need to be told stuff that by and large doesn't matter? Right?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell. Inspiring solutions to save America, one show at a time. Are you ready to get on board?
They believe that they can destroy this bond that exists between you and Trump if they somehow make Trump look bad, make Trump look like a reprobate, embarrass you about Trump. They can't do it because you came before Trump. Desperately want Trump gone, and I know that they desperately want it codified, that Trump cannot run again, because make no mistake, they remain scared to death of you, and they remain scared to death of Trump. Trump, 75 million, 80 million votes. And I'm going to tell you, you're not going anywhere. Separate you from MAGA. They can't separate you from Make America Great Again.
From sea to shining sea, 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. The Wendy Bell Radio Program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell Radio Program is live, and it is on the clock. So I'm going to say this to you. Tell me if you think it's right. MAGA are the new Republicans. Rhinos are the old Democrats. And Democrats are the new socialists. Isn't that? I think it's brilliant. I wish I came up with, I can't just rip people off, and I forget who said it, but it's a brilliant conversation, I think. We're watching things, very interesting tug of war in the political spectrum. The way I see it, MAGA is not far right. And I don't even know what far right is. What is that? What is that? Do you even know? Is that who they presume the KKK is? Because I don't affiliate with that. What's the far right? Because I know what the far left is. We're experiencing it. We have been experiencing it. We watched it devolve during President Trump's first term. We watched it permeate society and spread like a plague during Joe Biden. And so we voted President Trump in to clean it up. Right? Scott Pressler, I know you guys know the name. On X, he goes by the handle The Persistence. This guy is a one-man band wrecking crew that Democrats can't stand when he's walking down the street towards them. Oh, snap. Because what he does is he does the hard work. Like the guy in the first clip who went to a city council to complain about the AI red light camera speeding ticket, or rather ticket that he got, that he wasn't there to receive. He didn't drive through that camera. This is Scott Pressler. He goes to places like Pennsylvania, and one person at a time, he registers them to vote. And he registers them to vote Republican. And he almost single-handedly flipped Pennsylvania from blue to purple. And Pennsylvania delivered for President Trump in 2024. Mind-bending. So Scott Pressler, as an activist, as a MAGA activist, if you will, has been basically, and he is always very friendly about how he does it. He needles people like John Thune. He stands outside of his office and he's like, hey, I really wish that you would pass the Save America Act. Like 8 out of 10 of us want it. I don't know what you're doing. Can we get this done? It's super important to America. He ran into him at the airport and he posted something. Hey, I just was at the airport and I had a chance to say to John Thune, hey, would you please do this? And then Thune called him. What did he call him? He called him a grifter. Thune called him a grifter. Was it Thune or was it somebody else? I forget. I
thought it was someone else.
I think it's someone else. So he's been needling John Thune, Senate Majority Leader. Get off your butt. Get this thing done. So yesterday, and what stroke of genius that John Thune would send home the Senate on a 19-day vacation when we need stuff to get done for the Senate to actually show up and do something. The South Dakota GOP held a convention. So Scott Pressler buys a ticket, goes there, gets a ticket to the convention and a press pass, and he's ticketed. He's ready to walk in, and he gets stopped. He gets blocked at the door by some goofball who says he's the sergeant at arms. Now, the Senate sergeant at arms follows the Senate leader and protects said leader, also protects the Senate when they're in session, et cetera, et cetera. So that Thune had left the Senate and had went home to his home state for this convention. A sergeant at arms goes with him to protect it. Okay. And Scott Pressler is denied access as a ticketed member to get into this convention in South Dakota yesterday. I want you to hear what happened. Scott takes his camera and he rolls it, and this guy is going to pop his head in and interrupt his video. Listen.
Hey guys, this is Scott Pressler. I'm here at the South Dakota State Convention. I have a ticket, and they are saying that I can't come in. So we're going to find out very shortly why I am not being allowed as one of the biggest supporters of President Donald J. Trump.
I'm big on Facebook too, and I'm the asshole saying you can't come in because guess what? You're posting this little piss and moan session on Facebook. So you just get the hell out of here. Thank you.
You see how the grassroots are welcomed in Senate Majority Leader Thune's territory? Interesting, my friends. I don't think this is a good reflection of the South Dakota GOP, but I thank him for his honesty. Though, what's your Matthew Bruner, Sergeant at Arms?
Okay, so he's got a label on his shirt. He's got a name tag. It says Matt Bruner. Says he's a sergeant at arms at this state convention, refusing to let Scott Pressler in. And then Bruner posted a picture inside of John Thune speaking. And he posts something very petty, basically saying, it's a shame some of you could not be here to enjoy it. He needles Scott on Facebook, but that's not the real story. So South Dakota's GOP chairman is a guy named Jim Eschenbaum. And an attendee who saw all this going on with Scott Pressler takes his own camera out and starts recording. And he says to this guy, the state of South Dakota GOP chairman, hey, is this John Thune blocking Scott Pressler? Were you told not to let this minority leader blocking this fellow? Here you go.
You say, did John Thune specifically ask that Scott Pressler not attend this event? Yes. Okay, is John Thune a member of the convention committee? No. So how does he have authority to remove people from events?
He has he has a...
Please let Scott Pressler in.
He has a lot of security in there, and
Is Mr. Pressler considered a security threat?
Not to me, but I'm not going to go in there and argue with the Secret Service. Thank you, James.
Well, so that guy then comes out, Jim Eschenbaum, Write something on X to Scott. Scott Pressler, I want to personally apologize for how things were handled tonight at the South Dakota GOP convention. I haven't watched the video yet, but Matt Bruner has been relieved of his duties as one of our sergeant-at-arms by the lead sergeant-at-arms. More in the comments. And so I scroll up into the comments. I also apologize for denying you entry. You were exactly right when you said it wasn't Senator Thune's staff that was running the event, and I failed you in that decision, and I'm sorry, and I own it completely. As I stated, I appreciate and respect all that you have done for President Trump and the Republican Party. I truly wish this hadn't gotten so out of hand before somebody let me know. We will talk more about this tomorrow when I have time to. What's there to talk about, Jim? See, Thune is a rhino. He's a swamp creature. He's a zero. He is the problem that created MAGA. We're tired of that. The same way one could argue the Democrat socialists are tired of Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, not listening to them, right? But Scott Pressler doesn't make a habit of becoming a story. He doesn't make a fuss. He doesn't swear. He's not in it, to be a celebrity. He goes to push things that he believes are good for the country. And you failed him. And beyond that, one should say, camera caught inside on the table a picture, a printout of Scott Pressler's face, so that he could purposefully be blocked from getting in. That's not conversation. That's not healthy debate. That's not robust, come in, let's discuss what everybody's talking about. That is a man in a so-called Senate leader who is the world's biggest wuss. John Thune, you are a giant willow. Why wouldn't you want Scott Pressler to gain admission into your event? Because you can't defend what you won't bring up for a conversation. You won't force a talking filibuster on the floor of the Senate so that every senator, Republican, Democrat, or independent can stand up and say why they won't vote to require voters in American elections to prove that they are American citizens. It is so obvious because you're part of the problem. And we are so tired of you. And so, hey, Utah Senator Mike Lee, I don't want to see one damn more video of you posting all the common sense stuff that we have to do. 5, sir. It takes 5 of you to replace the Senate leader. 5. You don't mean you can find 4 other Republicans who can do that, sir? Because John Thune clearly is not the leader the Republican Party needs nor wants. And his behavior last night, hiding behind some goofball sergeant-at-arms, proves it. What a shame. What a shame and a disgrace. Hakeem Jeffries, speaking of shames and disgraces. Hakeem and Chuck, they're feeling the squeeze as a seditious 6 squad member. Alyssa Slotkin sounds like she's got some presidential dreams. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Literally. I don't want you in here. You're not allowed.
That's the thing. I like Mike Lee, but I'm like, stop with your videos.
I'm done. I don't want to hear any more about you and what needs to happen. Get off your ass and get rid of Thune. Trump's not going to do it. That's beyond. That's a stretch beyond the co-equal branches. So what are you people doing? Besides not much. Ghostbed.com, ladies and gentlemen, ghostbed.com. 4th of July. Can you think of a better time to cash in on a wonderful deal from ghostbed.com/Wendy? I'm just going to say, when every single mattress, and they make quite a few different kinds of mattresses, every single mattress is equipped with this cooling technology that manages to take the heat from your body, and instead of trapping it in this like bubble of heat that you roast in while you're trying to sleep, it like dissipates from your body. And so you sleep cool, you sleep comfortably, you wake up without the aches and the pains. And I'm telling you what, if it's been 10 years since you've gotten a new mattress, it's time. It's totally time. Go and try to lift up your mattress today. If it's been 10 years since you've gotten a new mattress, try to lift it up because it's 1,011 billion pounds. And you're like, how did that happen? Ew, skin cells. Right? And then it sags everything and you like sleeping in a canoe. Who sleeps in a canoe? My kids did for a while till I got them new mattresses. Ghostbed.com. Ghostbed.com/Wendy. Ghostbed is having their July 4th sale. You're going to get an extra 10% off. So it's already 10% off because of us, but you're going to get extra. That's pretty nice. Do it now. Do it now. This is the last day. I don't see them next week. This is it. You snooze, you lose, baby. Ghostbed.com. You guys are awesome. I won't screw up good news today either. Oh. By the way, Brock managed to finagle me a 250th flag from our friends at Disinfect the Sniper.
How do you know I didn't pay for it?
I know you didn't pay for it.
It's upside down.
Oh my gosh. This is beautiful.
It's for your...
The gold grommets and everything. And in flag makers. Beautiful. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Get yours today. And they ship like yesterday. So when you're going to get it before the 4th of July. If you have a flagpole.
You can't fold it now, can you?
I kicked out my thing. Hold on.
You got 20 seconds.
Oh my goodness gracious. I'm in love. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm not. I was putting it over here. Oh my goodness. Disinfectwithsniper.com. I love it. So John Thune can't handle a little heat from a little old organizer, a little old guy who got his start in Pittsburgh cleaning up trash. I remember, Brock, you remember when I went with Scott Pressler?
Yes, I do.
It was all about taking care of our communities.
Picking up trash in a place you didn't live.
Picking up somebody else's garbage. And he made his start and captured my attention probably 5 years ago. And he came into Pittsburgh and he's like, hey, Pittsburgh, if anybody wants to join me in this community, we're going to go clean it up. And I was like, I like this guy.
It was Braddock, wasn't it?
It was Rankin.
Rankin.
It was Rankin, which is a not necessarily clean neighborhood, kind of a rough neighborhood in some areas. It's fallen into disrepair. And he came and he cleaned it up. And I was there with him all morning long. And I love Scott Pressler. John Thune can't have a serious conversation. You can't let the guy in. What do you think he's going to do? Pull a fire alarm like Jamal Bowman and lie about it? Like, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to hold you accountable, John. You jerk. So Alyssa Slotkin, she says Schumer and Jeffries need to go. Now, it's interesting when you pay attention to all the people who are making the rounds. Who have we watched? Not Hakeem. We've been watching Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna is trying to poke at Elon Musk to give himself a platform, get people paying attention to him, get Elon to talk about him. So all of a sudden, when he makes it official, that you're not going to be surprised that Ro Khanna, the congressman from California, is going to run for president. Alyssa Slotkin who worked for the CIA, so she knows a thing or two about overthrowing governments. Sorry, too soon. She's obviously going to run as well because she's all over the circuit. I'm watching her all over the place, and that's all you need to see. So she's suggesting, you know what? It's time. It's time to replace Schumer and Jeffries. Let others lead, she says. This is such a rich commentary from a member of the squad, the seditious six, former military, right? Veterans encouraging present active military members to basically stage a mutiny and just disobey orders, direct orders from the commander-in-chief. Yeah, I don't really want to do that. You should totally do that. That's great. That's a great message from her. So she's inserting herself into this argument, saying yesterday, yeah, it's probably time for House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to just step aside and get some new Democratic leadership. The Democratic Party, she says, hasn't fully recovered since being soundly defeated in 2024. She argued during an appearance on SiriusXM's Straight Shooter with Stephen A., hinting that Schumer and Jeffries are to blame, basically, for what? The loss of these elections? Or what? To blame for what? To me, the lessons were simple. Democrats had too many priorities. They tried to make everybody happy and to answer every question. When you prioritize everything, no one knows what you actually stand for, Slotkin said. And then she said, in contrast, Donald Trump came in with one clear message. He said, I'm going to make your life more affordable. I'm going to put more money in your pocket. He won because he kept his message simple and he focused on the issue Americans cared about most. Slotkin lamented that even a year and a half after Trump's presidential election victory, every day there is a debate within the party about the path forward. Really? Well, I want you to see this. Newsmax hitting the streets every day to see what New York City residents think about socialism.
Socialism is spreading on the left after a trio of Mamdani-backed Democratic socialists swept their elections this week. New York voters now want socialism to spread nationwide.
I think socialism is a very important part of American culture. I feel like we all could use a form of socialism in our lives.
So you would want to be ruled by a socialist government?
I would see how it goes, give it a try. Why not?
A more socialist system would be better.
I think that America should disband the federal government and then open borders like the European Union.
We mostly just want to protest like corporations.
Are these items for sale?
I don't think that is free.
In a perfect world, it's like free everything. I don't want to have to like break my leg and then also be the person that pays for it.
Jeff Bezos should pay for it.
2028 Democratic nominee for president. Would you want it to be a Democratic socialist?
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me.
Personally, yeah, I'm very open to it.
This is called an EBT card. Your check gets divvied up and it goes into my EBT card. So for this reason, I get around $200 a month to spend on whatever I want to spend on.
You said whatever you want to spend it on. Isn't it just for food?
Well, I also get cash.
With that, can you go and buy, let's say, alcohol?
Yeah, I get alcohol all the time.
What about like marijuana?
Yeah, definitely. I need that.
So with your EBT taxpayer money, you buy marijuana?
This is socialism.
For the people that work, like yourself, are basically paying for him to get high.
And it's crazy because when it comes to food stamps, they said that you have to work to get food stamps.
What would you say to somebody who works and their money's being taken for you to buy marijuana and they say that's not fair? What would you say to them?
I would tell them that they need to do research and understand what socialism is.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. They got problems on the left, friends. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, High Court, all eyes watching the Supreme Court, birthright citizenship is going to be decided big time next. I mean, oh yeah, I need my marijuana. I need my weed. I need my weed. Gotta get my bottle. Right? And you're working hard to pay for that. How about that?
You would be okay with it if you just did your research.
That's right. If you knew what socialism was, you'd be like, yep. We
your-
just want you to be able to be lubricated. Right?
Drunk,
Stay
high, and
drunk,
stupid.
high, let's go. It's
No way to go through life, son.
When the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor.
Let him go. He's on the roll.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. It's just crazy. 100% crazy. All right.
See, what the people that believe in socialism don't realize is if everyone's getting it, there's going to be nothing left. You're
It's
going to
like
get less
yes,
because there's no one working to pay for your shit.
Yes. There's only so many times you can dip into the well until the water is gone.
Mhm.
And that's it. And they're just fleecing people. California has a pretty strong initiative on the ballot in November. And already you're seeing the millionaires and the billionaires bail. They're going to Lake Tahoe. They're going to Reno, just skipping next door to Nevada. And they're like, I'm not going to be here when y'all vote to ruin everything. And I'm not going to pay for your failure, period. I'm not a big advocate. There are two videos that I've watched that I think have taught me an awful, well, maybe three because Chuck Juice too. First is Dr. Marty's. He's not a sponsor anymore, but the food that he makes for dogs is just stupid. And so we subscribe to that and our dogs enjoy that. It's just one of the perks. Number two is Dr. Gundry, the MCT Wellness, the healthyfat.com/Wendy. When you think that the foods that you're eating, if they're fruits or vegetables, that you're doing yourself a tremendous favor and you're starting yourself off and your digestive system on the right path. So many fruits are chock full of sugar. And before you even start in a weight loss regimen, you're already behind the 8 ball because it's not going to work for you. And Dr. Gundry knows this. He ditched his surgeon everything to put on the cap of wellness and created this that he calls the healthy fat. And he lost 70 pounds drinking this. So our idea is whether you're drinking one thing in the morning or this in the afternoon, this is a dietary supplement that absolutely stops your hunger. And so for several hours, you're not obsessing with food. You're not thinking about what you're going to eat. You're not hearing your tummy grumble. You're not thinking about it, which is enough to jumpstart a lot of people's weight loss. If you've hit a plateau, if you can't even get started, if you need help and you drink water, it's very cost effective. Put a scoop in your water, shake it up. This is what I drink every day. And by and large, I don't eat anything until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I survive because of this. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. All of these sponsors have sales right now because of the holiday, which is great. And I was thinking even Chuck Juice, Chuck Defense, it's 37% off right now. I never remember them doing anything over 20%. And they're like, no, we're going to do this 37%. So if you're one of those people who's super slow to start in the day and you feel like you're really not awake and moving until around lunchtime, there's a lot of people who are like that. I'm most alert in the morning. I am up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and I like it. And I don't drag. I'm not like, ugh. But some people aren't programmed that way. So if you're a morning dragger, consider what Chuck Norris drank and what he did. And it's different than what I'm drinking. Brock is drinking it. And it's called Morning Kick. It's from Roundhouse Provisions. This is Chuck Norris's jam before he passed away. And he too put together a video of why he managed to have such great strength and stamina and longevity well into his 60s. How was he able to do that? And he's been drinking this, as has his wife. They've been drinking chuckdefense.com/Wendy for many, many years. And he credited his strength and stamina and success in martial arts and fitness and wellness and whatnot to this drink. chuckdefense.com/Wendy. Limited time, 37% off. It's one of those things, again, it's not going to break your bank. Your water. Why wouldn't you just put a scoop of this in it in the morning, right? Drink it with your coffee or what have you, or in lieu of coffee, and see how your day progresses. You're welcome. chuckdefense.com/Wendy. I loved Chuck Norris, was so upset when he passed away. But if I can live my life and age the way he did, and I think he was chemically dependent too, I am, then I will absolutely follow what he did. It just makes sense. I see no downside in chuckdefense.com/Wendy, especially now with 37% off. I just don't. Let's hear what you guys are up about or talking about. Hi, Jenny Webb. Oh, it's good to see you, sweetheart. Hi, Curtis Freedom. Hi, Nancy P. What's up, Elk Forever and Yawn Wayne? Rosebud's here. No wimps. I'm with you, baby. Host USA. Hello, Linda. Linda Roberts. Hi, Beowulf son. Hi, Lady Bastiat. Is that what it says? Bastiat, yes. Hi, Purple Flame. Hi, Moogle. What's going on, Al? So if you haven't right? We got thousands of Haitians because they were fleeing. What? There was some terrible tragedy, whether it was an earthquake or what have you. And we had Bill Clinton who was like, yeah. Let's bring these people over here. Let's protect them. Let's give them some protection, temporary protection. Well, like, I don't know how many years later, they're still here. And temporary protected status is supposed to be temporary. It's not supposed to be forever. It's not permanent citizenship. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. There's a lot of thorny issues that the Supreme Court is wading through right now. And the biggest one we're talking about today is the decision that has not yet come out, but it is imminent because the session for the High Court is winding to a close. In fact, I think it closes today. So at issue is birthright citizenship. And we're going to talk about that coming up in just a second. Because you know what? I'm tired of America being used and abused. That it seems like the entire world knows every loophole, every avenue to take advantage of our generosity and stupidity because they've been grifting off of us since the beginning of time. And so yesterday, there were some really interesting things that happened. We're going to talk about the ending of the temporary protected status because it's important. We shouldn't be giving people permanent citizenship here and all of the benefits that come with being someone on welfare. And make no mistake, these people are using all of the social services, the safety nets that you and I give money to every paycheck to help our most needy, our most vulnerable. I don't think in any time that there should be a man, woman, or child in the United States of America that goes to bed hungry. I don't, that's not my America. I don't believe with the amount of money we all pay in taxes for all of these services that are supposed to help all of these people, that there should be a man, woman, or child or veteran who doesn't have a bed to sleep in, who's stuck sleeping somewhere outside. And I'm not talking about the drug-addled. I'm not talking about the selectively homeless. In my America, I'm not upset giving some of my money to help people who need help. But the help shouldn't be permanent. It shouldn't be forever. It should be to assist you to get on your feet, to feed yourself, to provide you safety and shelter, so that you can then go and provide for you. But that's not how the system works. And that's what we started to see with Doge, as they started to peel back the many layers of grift and fraud and abuse of these systems that are all predicated on some need. Somebody needs your help. Please, we need your help. I'm ready to help. I'm just tired of being stolen from. And I think that's pretty much the common sense view in America. So the federal government can continue, in fact, said the High Court yesterday, bouncing illegal aliens without going through the costly and time-consuming court battle that the Democrats wanted. So I want to read you just a little bit about this. Joe Biden didn't just leave the U.S. border open. He turned it into a foreign invasion. For 4 long, nightmarish years, millions of unvetted illegals poured across the southern border and were released into the country. And then poof, they disappeared into a system designed to make their removal as painfully slow, as expensive, and impossible as humanly possible. The Biden regime acted like it was cruel to enforce immigration laws, while Americans were expected to accept all the third world style blowback in our schools and in our hospitals, in our neighborhoods, housing markets, and everywhere else. This planned invasion slithered in. And then Trump came back into office, and he did what he promised he would do. He started treating illegal immigration like illegal immigration. He used every lawful tool in the kit to remove criminals who slithered over the border illegally. One of those moves is called expedited removal. And it's a much faster way to deport certain illegals without dragging every case through the steady and already backlogged immigration court system. So back in January, the president expanded his authority nationwide. And the plan is this: if someone is in the country illegally, is legally eligible for expedited removal, and cannot show that they've been continuously present here for at least 2 years, the Department of Homeland Security can move them through this expedited process without this years-long court drama. Of course, right on cue, the open borders crowd sued, and a lower court activist judge blocked Trump. But this week, all that changed. In a massive win for Trump and the American people, the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals stepped in. They reversed the block. In a 2-1 ruling, the court cleared the way for Team Trump to restart the policy nationwide. So this means Trump can quickly start removing illegals from the middle of the country, not just the border zone. That's one thing. Now, the Supreme Court yesterday granted Trump, the Trump administration, the right to end this temporary protected status for illegal aliens from Haiti and Syria. Democrats losing their mind, saying it ends humanitarian protections for illegals. And we're just saying, you know what? The natural disasters or the wars, whatever skirmishes and bad things were going on in your homeland that involved you coming here to America for a while until things could be fixed, that time has passed. It's been 16 years for the Haitians. It's been 14 years for the Syrians. It's time to move along. The Hill did an interesting story. How many people are covered by temporary protected status? It's more than 1 million people, you guys. More than 1 million people could soon be eligible for deportation after the Supreme Court permitted the Trump administration to strip humanitarian protections from certain nationalities. The ruling Thursday morning specifically concerns the inclusion of Haiti and Syria in the temporary protected status program, which protects citizens from select countries from deportation and provides them a pathway to work authorization. The Homeland Security Secretary is responsible for determining which countries can receive a TPS designation. It's now 20 countries, you guys. Now 20 countries. So it's like we're just importing people for whatever reason. But when we want to bring people who are literally white farmers from South Africa who are being murdered, and we bring them here, look at that. Only choosing the white people. And it's like, oh, for the love of all that's holy, shut up. We're tired of paying for everybody and his brother and all of these people who receive benefits that you and I pay for. And then, of course, there was the huge win for the Second Amendment as the High Court struck down this Hawaii law, similar to statutes found in California, New York, and other states that ban carry of firearms on private property open to the public, grocery stores, restaurants, gas stations. Hawaii wanted to do something. They were like, hey, you're not allowed to have a firearm, concealed or otherwise, when you walk into this Kroger's grocery store. And people are like, what? All of a sudden, because we're in a grocery store, the threat inside dissipates? No. And the High Court struck it down. Sorry, no soup for you. That's important. But this today, birthright citizenship. I want you to hear this guy. His name is Leonard Leo. He's the chair of the Rule of Law Trust. It's a nonprofit linked to conservative legal advocacy, and they give grants to promote originalist judges, judges who rule the way the founding fathers thought was the most prudent. And he's on with Katie Pavlich yesterday over on News Nation. And is Trump in the right here? Katie asks him, with this birthright citizenship case. Should you be able to come across our border 9 months pregnant, deliver a baby, and have that baby be an American citizen who then allows you to draw your family to these United States? What do you think about this, Leo, as the High Court is about to deliver this decision probably today? Listen.
Let's start with the big one. Of course, we're still waiting for Trump versus Barbara. This is, of course, the birthright citizenship case, which could change the course of the country. What does the Constitution say about this case? And is the Trump administration correct on their position?
Well, as you noted, Katie, the case is really about whether President Trump can limit birthright citizenship for the children of illegal immigrants and temporary visitors. And, you know, it's a bit of a tough case, Katie, because for the longest time, I think the assumption has been that the 14th Amendment provides an absolute right to birthright citizenship. And I think, you know, for a while, I even assumed that. But I think when you look carefully at the law and history, going all the way back to the English common law, I think President Trump should win this one. I don't think that birthright citizenship applies to the children of illegals and temporaries. And, you know, look, part of that's because law and history shows that, you know, would-be citizens really need to pledge allegiance to our country for their children to have citizenship. And illegal immigrants and temporary visitors really can't make that case.
Such a fascinating take. Now, I've heard other people say, kicking stones down the street, that they believe the court is going to reject this case and say, yes, that birthright citizenship is a thing and can continue. But then Katie asks this Leo guy about any upcoming retirements on the court. Does he see anything? I think this is interesting.
You know, you were instrumental during President Trump's first term and in shaping the Supreme Court when there were retirements. Do you foresee there being any retirements over the course of the next 2 years, the remaining Trump administration? And if so, what kind of justices do you think the president will appoint?
Well, first of all, President Trump was instrumental. There hasn't been a president in modern history who has delivered on the promise to remake the Supreme Court the way he did. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but one big one is that he had the determination to do it. I don't know that we'll see any vacancies on the court anytime soon. You know, the court has its stride right now. Justices Thomas and Alito and a couple of the others are making very consequential decisions, and they seem to be enjoying their work and they seem to have their health. So I don't know that we'll see any changes on the court. But I certainly think that if there are vacancies or retirements, one, I think we can be assured that there'll be another fight like we had over the last three nominees, because we'll get a nominee who's a constitutionalist, and we'll have a lot of Democrats in the Senate who won't want that.
Interesting perspective. We're going to step away for a quick timeout, but when we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, literally you see Republicans licking their chops, right? They're looking at all of the fodder out there for the political ad season coming up to the midterms. And Scott Jennings nails it on CNN, rattling off all of the things that Republicans can run on and all of the things Democrats suddenly cannot. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Yeah, I saw that this morning about John Bolton pleading guilty to hiding or taking classified information, breaking the law, some kind of a settlement there with that clown. Former U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton pleads guilty to violating the Espionage Act. He sent top secret information on a personal account that then got hacked.
Faces 5 years and $2.2 million fine.
What about Hillary? What about Hillary?
Well, here's the kicker. John Bolton, how's he going to pay? Because he's not going to be paid by MSNBC anymore. How do you have him on the air?
I don't know how you're going to do that. So he's going to, if he gets sentenced to prison, He looks older than he is, but that's not going to be friendly.
You know what? This is what we have said about justice. He's now, quote unquote, disgraced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your legacy is the tarnishing, the destruction, the sullying, the black eye punch of your legacy. You're going to go down in the history books as a scumbag, as a disgrace. That's what Joe Biden will go down as. That's what Tony Fauci will go down as. That's what Becerra, Merrick Garland, all of those clowns, they're going to go down like that too. You know, it's been oddly quiet. Nancy Pelosi. Where's that old bag? She's kind of oddly quiet, sitting back, watching everybody get devoured as she's like, yeah, you know, I think I'm going to bounce. I think I've done this long enough. I've made my inside millions, hundreds of millions. Simkovich Concussion Institute. Look, if you live out of town, this is a Pittsburgh doctor. I would say to anybody, anywhere on planet Earth, legitimately anywhere, if you've suffered a traumatic brain injury, if you've been hurt, if you know there's something wrong, or you know somebody who suffered a concussion or a problem and they're not getting fixed, 412-366-3700. That's such an important phone number to write down. What Dr. Simkovich does is this intense protocol. And I'm going to say it again. There is no surgery. There are no needles. You're not going to bleed. This isn't one of those deals. What he does happens in your mouth, in your soft palate with his hands. When you get conked, things get out of whack. And he can feel things and he can nudge things back into position. It doesn't always feel terrific. But the result after several days of this intense treatment, meaning you're there for several hours at a time, several days in a row, you know that at the end of day 3 or day 4, you're going to be done. That's that. Life back. Game on. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com, 412-366-3700. I would go nowhere else. I would tell anybody anywhere, make the trip to Pittsburgh. You see a couple of the Pirates games. Come hang out for a while. You're going to get fixed.
At least come see the stadium.
Yeah. Well, then there's that.
If you like beer, go to the place across the street.
Mike's Beer Bar. It's our favorite place.
Yeah, it's one of our faves.
We haven't been there in a while.
Well, now the Pirates are back in town.
We'll be able to go back when our schedule shifts.
Yeah. We miss our people. We went there so much, they'd already bring out, here's what we have is new. You'll want to try this.
You know, it's interesting when you're a regular, you're a good people, and you're a good tipper. There's a very nice relationship between business and customer in that regard. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I see a midterm that's shaping up to be a pretty basic message because it is that, I don't know, line of demarcation between the two parties and what's become of the Democrats. Have they kind of lunged to the socialism thing? Now, socialists, the lure of it is all of the pie in the sky promises, right? We're going to make everything better. We're going to turn everything into money bags, rainbows, unicorns, and puppies. You're going to love butterflies, ice cream, and no debt. We're going to make everything better, and we're going to stick it to the rich guy. And you're like, yeah, which is idiotic, right? Because the rich already pay the majority of the taxes anyway. And then when it comes to, let's see what the track record was. There is no track record. Nothing gets delivered. Everything goes haywire. And then you're what? Venezuela, right? There you are. You don't have food. You don't have medicine. You don't have crap. But the government's nice and fat, nice and rich. Now you got Trump on the other side. You've got this MAGA movement of 20 points that he campaigned on. This is what I'm going to do. This is my promise to America. This is what I want. And Scott Jennings yesterday over at CNN, he rattled off kind of like all the things the Republican policies are doing to make things better, to improve the economy. And he's right. The midterms, as much as they want us to believe that, oh my gosh, it's do or die for us, and it is, we're doing really well. Here's Scott Jennings.
Look, gas prices are not up. They're down below $4 a gallon nationally. Oil's trading at $71 a barrel. We don't run the gas price tracker on the screen anymore for a reason. I mean, it's because it's a non-story. The pool was vandalized. You keep bringing up the pool. It was vandalized by people who were so broken-brained about our politics that they went out there and vandalized the pool. It's in the court documents, which you can read yourself today. And as it relates to costs, the Republicans cut taxes. Working people all over this country got major tax refunds. We have a booming job market. We have a stock market that's up. Right now, we have an economy that's on the upswing because of Republican policies. And we've got insane Democrats winning primaries promising socialism all over this country. Those are the facts, and that's the argument that will be carried to the election.
100%. And we don't have to actually talk about what the left is doing. We just have to talk about what we're doing and what the plan is. And the gas price is a huge deal. And that hopefully is imminently going to become a non-conversation. So if you want to know how overtaxed and overcharged you are, let's just look at a single gallon of gas. Most expensive place to buy it in the country is presently California. Surprise, surprise. They add 90 cents per every gallon on every gallon that you buy. 90 cents in tax per gallon. You've got the state gas excise tax. You got the federal gas tax. You got the state sales tax. You've got a carbon tax, 90 cents a gallon before you even put the thing in your tank. Pennsylvania is right behind it with 78 cents per gallon. And in Pennsylvania, we pay an extra 1.1 cent per gallon underground storage tax. Did you know that? Brock, did you know that?
I did not.
I did not either.
I'm not surprised, though.
A 1.1 cent per gallon underground storage tax called the Pennsylvania Underground Storage Tax Indemnification Fund. So if there's any leaks, it goes to mitigate that, to clean up the leaks. It's raised $1.3 billion since the 1990s.
I was just going to say, what happens when there is no leak?
Well, I'm sure nobody gets that money back. This is how crazy life is in Democrat tax land. Steve Hilton, obviously running for governor of California as a Republican. He's on the road for whatever reason in Texas. He's filling up his tank. And he echoes Trump's call over the gas gouging. And he says, Sacramento is every single day screwing Californians every which way it can. Watch.
So we're in Texas. We're on the road, just filling up with gas. Look at that, $3.59. We was just in LA like 2 days ago. What was it, $8.59 or something? It's on the video we made. It's just infuriating. So when I say we're going to have $3 gas in California, you got $3 gas here. Even with the Iran war, what are they doing? They are crushing working people and small businesses in California with these extortionate gas prices. And that's going to change when I'm governor.
It's every single add-on. It's every single regulation, every rule, every excise fee, every tax incarnate, every protected species that we need to add an extra buck on for, every dying heart, bleeding heart liberal policy to save the environment, save the whales, screw over drivers. That's what Democrats deliver. This upcoming midterm season, the ads are going to be incredible. And the socialists just handed the Republican Party a beautiful smorgasbord of options to dabble in. Shall we? A couple ads that have already dropped that are next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Is that all right?
Yep. PA screws you if you own a car, right? You own a new car, any car within the last, I don't know, you guys probably know better than me, let's say 10 years. You have to get emissions. if you live in Allegheny County. But if you live in Butler County, which is literally from my door to the Butler County line, maybe 20 to 25 minutes tops. You don't have to get it if you live in Butler County. They get you on emissions. They get you on, you have to register your car every year. You have to get an inspection every year. The gas tax, every which way they can bone you, they do. And cars are just, so my wife just got a company car, and literally because it was bought in Ohio, she had to get it registered in PA. Literally less than 100 miles on this car. And she had to go and get it inspected and have emissions done on it. Less than 100 miles on the car, had to have emissions done. Brand new car. Why? So me being the genius that I am, I'm like, yeah, have it registered, and because they have stores all over. I'm like, register it in the store in Butler County. So she did. No emissions tax. 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away, no emissions. It's so stupid the way they screw you.
Do you guys like gold and silver? I do. I love this one. This is the Trump coin. Let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, this is great. Texas Bullion Exchange is the company that I work with as a gold sponsor. And I never even thought about gold and precious metals, to be honest with you, until they reached out to me. And they were like, hey, we found you on Rumble and we share your values. We are also parents. We also love this country. We also are concerned about making sure we protect our families in the future by passing down our wealth to them. And I think you would really be appreciative to learn how gold and silver work. And I'm, of course, thinking to myself, I'm like, who's sitting on an extra several $1,000s to buy gold or silver? Like nobody. And then they started talking to me about gold-backed IRAs and other things that you can get into your system. Well, I did end up buying the precious metals, gold and silver. I have gold, a couple gold coins. And I have quite a few silver coins, and I have some silver bricks, not just silver bars, but silver bricks. And there's something that's deliciously pleasing and satisfying about holding gold and silver in your hands, because you can pass it off to the people you love generationally. 855-927-5557. Ask about how you can qualify for 6% of free silver if you get a qualifying portfolio, and make sure when you call them, they know that you're with us, because that's our phone number. But ask them about how you can save, how you can get this process started. I think you're really going to be pleased. I think you're really going to be pleased about who they are and what they do. WendyLovesGold.com. They have been just fantastic partners of ours, and they are so appreciative of you. They always tell me how much they love dealing with you. That's the prevailing story here. Always, people love you. They might like what I say, right? And that has them, ring my doorbell, but they come through the door for you because you guys are fantastic.
Fisher 9694 says, I have 5 of those Trump coins from Texas.
I love them. I love them. I love having collectible things that are meaningful. They got me coins minted in the years of my children's birth from all over. I got quite a few from Canada. They're beautiful. Hold on, I need to get a tan. Ooh. I know, right? Let me, I also want to tell you about a service that I think could save you a lot of money. And our friend Tom Yakupin, he's big in health insurance, but he stepped aside and he started his own business with another guy. And they started something called Health Revolution, info.healthrevolution.net. You can see it on your screen there, 800-868-6187. And so the whole idea here is, if you're confused by health insurance, but you know you pay too much, you're tired of getting coverage that's in excess of what your needs are, while other things aren't being covered, You can create your own policy. That's the beauty of this plan. It's not a scam. It's not a ripoff. It's not some shisty deal. It's literally you save 30 to 60% on your monthly premium. Say what? Yeah, that's what they do. info.healthrevolution.net, 800-868-6187. Keep your doctor, choose your doctor. No copays, deductibles ridiculously low, right, compared to what you're paying. And then you cherry pick the coverage that you want. If you're a woman, you might want maternity coverage. But if you're not of childbearing age or you're a dude, why are you paying for that? You ought not be. Under the age of 65, relatively healthy, gig workers, if you're on COBRA, Cigna's getting out of the Obamacare marketplace next year. Where are all those people going to go? You have a heads up. There's no open enrollment period. You enroll when you're ready. Again, it works for you, and you connect with a liaison by either calling that phone number or going to that site, info.healthrevolution.net. How nice. How nice. A solution to the suck that Obama created that no Republicans voted for. So riddle me that, right? Next week, it's not going to be so frenetic with sponsors. I think a lot of people take the holiday week off, and so they were jamming in their stuff this week. So I know I had a lot to talk about, and I appreciate you guys humoring me. You know I love you. Duh. I got a lot of open windows. Gee whiz.
Five, four, three, two, one. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live and on the clock. And I'm delighted to be with you. WendyBellRadio.com if you want to follow along the live video stream. Well, we could say one thing's for certain. If it's true what they say, that usually the party in power loses the midterms in control of the House, I'm not thinking that. I'm not feeling that way. I don't have that vibe. I think there's a lot of house cleaning that needs to be done. I agree with that, and I think it will be handled. But I think the farther left the Democrat Party goes, and the more the Democrats try to either like verbal spaghetti word salad their way out of supporting people with Nazi tattoos, or who wipe their hands on the American flag, or who say America is an effing disgrace. Like, what? The more that happens, I'm like, bring it. I'm like President Trump with his truth last night, where he was like, wow, I was been waiting for the communists to come out of the woodwork and play their hand. And here they are. And he's like, I've been waiting and I cannot wait. Game on. And then he's like, enjoy the show. And we're like, what is he talking about? See, this is what I think the GOP needs to do. MAGA needs to do. We got to stay on the right focus, right? I don't want to waste a lot of time talking about what these idiots have done. We've already lived through it. But they put us through COVID. They staged an insurrection and trapped Americans. They sent hundreds of people to prison. Several of them later killed themselves. They've lied to you about what's going on in this country. They've demonized this president for 10 years. And now the fruits of their labor and their toxic ideology and the grooming of the public schools and the messaging and the not even disciplining people who break the law and encouraging violent riots and making excuses for violent criminals from other countries who kill our freaking people. They will hang themselves with Jussie Smollet's news, right? They're going to hang themselves. We need to focus on bringing costs down, making things affordable, and talking to the youngest generation in particular. And I have 5 Gen Z men in my life to tell them, hey, you guys have been through a hell of a time, but you were made for this moment. You can be the heroes of America. Don't buy into the garbage because they never deliver anything for you. There are a few ads that have already dropped. The RNC is apparently dropping a 4-minute doozy today. I haven't seen it. I'm like scouring for it. But we did find a couple that just make goofy, dorky, wussy, willow people like James Tallarico running for Senate in Texas look really dumb. RNC dropping this blistering commercial about Tallarico. I don't know how you claw back from this, James. Let's see.
Move over, Davy Crockett. There's a new Texas trailblazer in town, and their name is James Tallarico, the man who bragged, our office is the first in the history of Texas to add pronouns to our official business cards.
I am running around like a crazy person today,
spreading his white skin wherever he goes.
I am not a perfect Christian. Prophetic voices like Jesus have helped me reckon with my own whiteness, my own masculinity, and it's a painful process.
Bearing the cross of white skin and unambiguous masculinity.
I was a big nerd in high school, never played sports. I probably shouldn't out myself like this. Sex is a spectrum, and oftentimes it can be very ambiguous. God is both masculine and feminine and everything in between. God is non-binary.
Straight from Revelations in the woke James Bible.
I want us all to be aware of that there are many more than 2 biological sexes. In fact, there are 6.
And on the 7th day, they rested. But not James Tallarico. He built an ark big enough for all creatures.
To be able to write legislation that benefits not just the people, but also our animal friends.
Just like the Supreme Court said, 1 cow, 1 vote.
Now, existential, that we try to reduce our meat consumption. That's the right thing to do and the moral thing to do.
The 11th commandment, thou shalt not smoke brisket.
I am proud to say that our campaign has officially become a non-meat campaign.
So step aside, Sam Houston. Tallarico's bravery towers over Texas. He's fighting for all 6 genders and tens of thousands of species.
I guess we just have a different moral yardstick.
You know what insults Jesus?
Binary white people who eat barbecue and remember the Alamo?
There's only been one perfect Christian.
And they certainly weren't a carnivorous Caucasian binary Homo sapien, according to the woke Gospel of James.
They're going to call me a radical leftist, un-Texan, un-American.
And bar none, the weirdest candidate for Senate the Lone Star State has ever seen.
My cheeks hurt. It's a race to the bottom. Who can be more woke, more weird, more unelectable, more unappealing than these people? But are we shocked? I mean, Rashida Tlaib, when she won her night of celebrating next to her little boy, she shouted into a live microphone, "We're going to impeach the MFer." I'm like, oh my goodness, you people are diabolically nutty. And I feel sorry for you, but now you just piss me off. I have no time for you. Nobody has time for you. Woke sucks. Your policies, your box checking, your pie in the sky ideology, your feelings. You know what? Move aside. You look stupid. And I can't wait for November. Well, just on cue, Ken Paxton kind of piggybacks off of the RNC, and he drops his own ad on James Tallarico. How's James going to fight back, do you suppose?
James Tallarico is a hypocrite when it comes to fighting for families. Tallarico wants to teach trans ideology in schools and let boys compete in girls' sports. Tallarico says it's immoral to use the oil and gas that employs millions of Texans. Tallarico wants higher taxes and policies that'll raise prices on families. Hypocrite James Tallarico will do anything to push his radical agenda, even if it leaves families broke and jobless.
I'm Ken Paxton, and I approve this message.
We just pick one thing out of that ad that is disqualifying for anybody on the left. If anybody out there thinks it's reasonable in any world, that it makes any sense for a dude to pretend to be a girl and play in girls' sports, I'd like to have a conversation with you. I learned when my sons were about 10 that they were stronger than I was, that they were far faster than I would ever be. They would swim better. They would hit a ball farther. And I couldn't warm up my son who was pitching on his little league team because I took one off the knee and almost had a heart attack. Okay. There's a time when you realize boys and girls ain't the same. And that we're relitigating this like total morons is completely, leaves me speechless. Anybody out there who's a father or a mother of a daughter, what the heck are you doing voting Democrat? It's like being a Jew. They are gunning for you. Why on earth would you be a card-carrying member of the Democratic Party? It's like being Catholic. Can you be a Catholic Democrat? I kind of worry about these things because I believe in life, not like, it's just some cells. Really? Then there's this, and I think this is sharp. Michelle Tafoya, you know her from the NFL. She's talking about, she's running for Senate in Minnesota, and she drops a beautiful ad, and I think these are the sorts of messages and the imagery that the Republican Party will use and win with, period. Here you go.
I spent years covering the greatest athletes under the brightest lights, from Sunday Night Football to the Super Bowl. I'm Michelle Tafoya. When I saw Minnesota, our home, being crushed by career politicians, I got off the sidelines and into the game. I'm running for Senate to crack down on corruption, stop illegal immigrants from voting in our elections, and to keep men out of women's sports. I'm Michelle Tafoya, and I approve this message because Washington needs some Minnesota common sense.
I think there's going to be this nice balance. You're going to have a balance. You're going to have maybe the RNC putting out these ads that are just absolutely blisteringly excoriating of these leftist policies that are so dumb that have driven such a divide between we and people we love, people we care about, who are hook, line, and sinker, whack-a-doodle down with it. And we're going to have these ads by the Republican Party, by individual candidates that merely talk about their sanity, about their policies, about the things that they believe in that you believe in. What are Democrats going to do? We hate Trump. I hate these lower gas prices. Peace in Iran, right? I hate closed borders and fewer people trying to kill me. Oh, I don't know. What are you going to run against if you're a Democrat? I'm not Trump. Oh, okay. Game over. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, it's not just about promises. See, the socialists promise everything up high in the sky. You got to deliver. So let's go and see what they're promising and who's delivering what next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right. Let's see what we got. Healthy Sally, did you? Oh.
Make a plea.
Make a plea. For people to hit the Rumble button or for them to follow us.
7,600 people watching.
Oh, this is like our old days before we moved from 9 until noon and noon to 3. We used to get 9,000 people live every day and we dropped off. But you know what we found is we have this core of 4,800 hardcore every single day. And if you're new, it's not complicated. It's common sense conservatism, and I don't lie to you. So that's the story. That's what I do. Okay, so I know a lot of people who have had wonderful success taking those weight loss shots. I also know a lot of people who, after COVID, trust nothing that has big pharma anywhere near it. And so while they'd like the help losing significant weight, It's not always that easy, right? And it's expensive if you want to do some of these shots and you don't have a prescription. This is why bloodflow7.com, my company Juvenon, I am 100% bought into the things that they do because they work for me. I don't need to lose weight, but this is their number one weight loss product. If you're getting on the scale and it's not moving, or it has and you've plateaued and you're really getting to the end of your rope, if you want to lose, they say significant weight, 50, 70, 80 pounds or more, Juvenon, bloodflow7.com invites you to try GLP-1 Gold. This is a dietary supplement, and it gets your brain to trigger with your belly, hey, I'm not hungry anymore. And so what do? You eat less. It's simple as that. This is not some pharmacology thing. It's very basic, and it's quite affordable. It's $1 a day. And Wendy Bell Radio listeners get 30% off everything at their site, Juvenon, but it's bloodflow7.com/Wendy. I really think that you're going to like this. I really think that this is a great opportunity, great option for people who want to lose significant weight without injecting stuff into their systems. Okay, so we're going to talk about how this president is delivering. Not even how he's delivering, the promises he's made. So when he called in to this radio show in 2022, and he and I had about it was like an 18-minute conversation, 17-minute conversation. He had already put out his list of agenda action items. Of course, the left went haywire and tried to link it to Project 2025. His was Agenda 47. And I spent a lot of time. I watched every single video. And he had a 3.5 minute video where connected to each of his agenda items. So you could click on it, and there he is being like, this is the problem, and this is what I think is the solution. And so when I'm elected, this is what my strategy is to fix it. Everything from boys and girls sports to closing the border to the drug problem, fentanyl, to everything, truly, and to education. And he put it all on a list. I'm wondering if we read that list together, how much we think he's accomplished already. Vis-a-vis Mamdani, right? It's going to be free transportation, free childcare, blah, 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 universal pre-care, whatever it is. We're going to give you the world. That's what they do. They deliver that. Don't worry, you don't have to get up and work. Don't worry about that. Other people do that. They're the rich people. We'll take money from them. That's how this is going to play. And then I'm going to say to you that you're going to get all this stuff. Okay. So Zoran Mamdani, he's kind of like Barack Obama, that shiny metal object that appears out of nowhere. Kind of looks different, makes people go, what's that? Barack Obama had all of 1,440 days in the Senate before they elevated him to be the next thing. And how'd that work out for us, right? Zoran Mamdani is being called the kingmaker now. And I'm like, oh gosh, please. You had like the worst turnout ever, and it just happened to be socialists and people who think Luigi Mangione is a hero and is sexy, who showed up to vote for these socialists in New York. But he's promised New York City residents the world, right? Who wouldn't want what he's promising? I want all of it, right? He promised New York City residents universal child care. As a mom of 5, I can tell you I worked for many, many years as a television news anchor or reporter and gave half of my pay to the variety of people who I needed to help me with my kids when I was away on the news. I would love universal child care, right? How about free public buses? That's great. I would love that too. Government-owned grocery stores. I don't really get that vibe. I don't get that vibe at all. A rent freeze and a Department of Community Safety, because that always works well with people. After you want to get rid of all the prisoners at Rikers Island, set them free. We need a bunch of therapists out policing the streets because that'll work perfectly. Got it. Well, this just in, breaking news, whoosh, right? New York City's Rent Guidelines Board just approved a rent freeze for nearly 1 million rent-stabilized apartments. My gosh, it sounds like such a good thing, right? Until you realize that 44%, nearly one half of all the rent-stabilized units in New York City are occupied by people from outside of the United States. American-born citizens are actually subsidizing the foreign-born to live in our basically financial capital while driving up prices of the remaining supply. Sounds beautiful. What could go wrong, ladies and gentlemen? Right? So that's one side of this equation. Let's see what President Trump has been talking about. And he's been talking about this forever and a year. Number one, seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. Check. Number two, carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. Check, in progress. Number three, end inflation and make America affordable again. In progress. Number four, make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. Check, done. Number one exporter of oil on planet Earth. Come on. Number five, stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. Check. Number six, large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips. Check. Number seven, defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Work in progress. Number eight, prevent World War III, restore peace in Europe and in the Middle East, and build a great iron domed missile defense shield over our entire country, all made in America. In progress. What did we tell you yesterday? Department of War testing out that golden dome, and it's working. Number nine, end the weaponization of government against the American people. Check. Number 10, stop the migrant crime epidemic, demolish the foreign drug cartels, crush gang violence and lock up violent offenders. Check. 11, rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe and clean and beautiful again. Check. Number 12, strengthen and modernize our military, making it without question the strongest and most powerful in the world. Check. 13, keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. Check. 14, fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. Check. 15, cancel the electric vehicle mandate and cut costly and burdensome regulations. Check, like that stupid button I have to push so my car doesn't turn off at every red light. Because, I'm sure it's saving the planet and me gobs of money. Check. Number 16, cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. Check. 17, keep men out of women's sports. Check. 18, deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. Where is that guy with the scarf? Oh, he got bounced. Check. Number 19, secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. Wouldn't you know, that's the one that's the biggest one in progress. Where are you, John Thune? Number 20, unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. That's a hell of a track record. That's a year and 5 months, ladies and gentlemen, with 98% negative news coverage, right? With rhinos, uniparty swamp creatures dragging through Congress, doing whatever they can to screw him over and slow down his agenda. With everything, everybody and his brother blaming him, hating him, resisting him, stopping him, being completely deranged over him. And that guy has already gotten about 17 of those 20 things accomplished. Next week is going to be a flippin' barn burner. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, let's see. I'm not on the right page. Oh, nuts. Let's see. Oh my gosh. This is why we need to stop using mail-in ballots. This story out of New York. Next. Oops, sorry. I was so close. Like what is Zoran Mom? We're going to give you everything for free. It's going to be free. It's going to be equitable. It's going to be humanitarian. It's going to be so good. And it feels so good inside. And it's going to cost everything in the world. We're going to bankrupt everybody, chase the billionaires out of our country or out of our city. And then we're going to be reeling with no tax base and everything's going to fall to shit. But other than that, I mean, it's going to be great.
It's free, just not to you.
It's just, yeah, right. Still, my favorite part of the show is that dude at the beginning. I mean, just brilliant. Brilliant. Let's see what else I have to do. Many thanks to Ireland Contracting for supporting us. Look, everybody out there is going to need a new roof, and it sucks. It sucks when you need a new roof because it's never when you have money. It's like getting pregnant and having a baby. Now's the time, said nobody, right? You're like, oh my gosh, can we afford this? That's a new roof. And when I got my estimate from the one outfit, and I was like, what? And then Ireland Contracting came in slightly lower, but kind of in the same ballpark. I'm like, I think I'll go with you, Gary. I trust them. I wouldn't spend my money on Ireland Contracting. They've been at my house like 6 times, 5 of them for, gutters and electrical work and 1 for the new roof. I trust them. I believe in them. And I know that you can too. So look, that's all I say. I don't lie to you. And if our contractors, if our sponsors don't do right by you, they're not our sponsors anymore. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. Thank you. Did you proofread anything? No. So if you're new, many years ago when we started this thing on our own, after I got us fired multiple times because I told the truth about COVID and I told the truth about everything, and we weren't allowed to tell the truth. We went out for dinner, and one of my sons at the time was very young, and he said some stupid joke, and I was like, oh my gosh. And Kate thought it was hilarious, Brock's wife. And Brock was like, you know what? We might be onto something here. And I was like, what? And he's like, we'll call it Bad Joke Friday. It took off. It took off. So the deal is they have to be lousy jokes. And they are. Some of them are funny. But we
Some
do that
of them
in
are ridiculous.
We do that in the We do that in the last segment. We also, before the last commercial break, so at the quarter of the hour, we have good news, and it's always with my boyfriend. He's my boyfriend.
Not always, but majority of the time.
My boyfriend.
We've been doing that since the beginning.
Steve Hartman. I could eat him for breakfast. I just love his stories. He's just got a very sweet way, and it's nice to have something that doesn't make you want to jump off a bridge.
All right, there's almost 8,300 people watching.
Yay.
And we are 1.98.
Oh, that's terrible. Can you guys hit that thumbs up button?
Show them the finger.
That's what it is. It's that button underneath my fabulous face in the video box. If you scroll up a little bit, hit that Rumble button. That's your vote. That says, I think she's fabulous. And then you can hit the follow button because unbeknownst to you, newbies, Brock happens to be very good friends with one of the leading world-renowned, preeminent veterinarians in the world. In world, I said twice.
He takes care of the king's camels. That's why I tell people.
Dr. Mike Hutchinson. And he comes on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern time with Brock, and they take your questions free of charge. And he's big into stem cells, and he's big into this other stuff. And he's so knowledgeable. You learn so much. Like I said, one of my stories is I got sucked into 15 minutes of him talking about porcupine quills and how if it gets into your dog's mouth, how that gets into their system. I was fascinated. So that's tomorrow. And then Sunday at 7 a.m. Eastern, it's really for the hardcore people. There's no makeup, right? Roll out of bed, throw it up. I put on a tiara. Don't ask. It's just the way it goes. And we shoot the breeze and go down rabbit holes, put on our tinfoil hats, talk about conspiracy theories that alarmingly seem to be true.
Yeah.
We haven't spiced things up with the alien talk in a while, but I haven't gotten any new deets on that.
What did we learn about the last conspiracy when Trump said that literally last Friday we ran a thing where they were making fun of Greg Stinchfield.
Oh, Grant Stinchfield. Yeah.
About saying it was a big conspiracy that
right.
someone mess with the fountain.
Right.
the
And now
reflecting
what do we have? Oh, 15 arrests.
Yeah.
Right. All these people charged, box cutters.
That took literally less than a week to
Right.
blow the left's narrative. Jonathan Carl.
What a douche.
CNN. We're going to have this water tested.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did because we got phosphates in there, which comes from fertilizer. So somebody's been sabotaging it. What? Well, that's not possible. And you're like, God, who are you idiots? All right. Any sharks? It is so friggin' hot.
Here.
Is it hot in there too? And also, great shout out to Kelly Morgan at Morgane's Fitness. Thank you for sponsoring this program for so many years, Kelly. She offers you the opportunity to lose significant weight. 90 days. It's called 90 Ignite. It's done from the privacy of your home. She sends you videos of the exercises you need to do and how to eat. You do it for 90 days and amazing. You change your body. Morgane's Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com. It works. By the way, this is a deal I have to sing to you now. I'm sorry, but the people who've been frequent flyers for years will be pissed if I don't do it. Common sense conservatism with no lies. And I tell you, I'm biased. I'm as biased as the day is long. I love this country. I love people who love this country. I love smart people. I love honest people. I like progress. I'm a conservative for a reason. That doesn't mean I'm not disappointed. It doesn't mean I don't look at our leadership the same way the socialists are looking at Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, and others and shaking their heads in disgust. I feel the same way. But I believe that there is a way to go about doing this. There's a way to secure this country, to make it better than it's ever been, so that I can give to my 5 sons something that I personally am proud of. That's why I show up here every single day. That's why we work on holidays. That's why when other people are enjoying family picnics and whatnot, we're usually here working. Why? Because every single time I have an opportunity to sit before you and for you to possibly hear what I say is another opportunity to make a connection with somebody who might help me make a difference. That's it. This whole Save America Act that we can't seem to get anybody in the Senate to figure out. It's so unacceptable because even at such small levels, the whole mail-in ballot BS is so ripe for fraud. It's so rampant and abused. And I'm going to read you something from the New York Post to prove it, okay? Long Island school clerk caught tearing up ballots and trashing votes to help her candidate win. Well, get out of town. You don't say, I'm sure this is just one place. I'm sure this doesn't happen. There are not illegals voting in our... That's a conspiracy theory. Don't say that. A Long Island school clerk overseeing Board of Education elections tore up ballots. She threw them in a dumpster to rig the election for, wait for it, a local DJ. A newly revealed internal probe found. Hempstead Union Free School District Clerk April Keyes, again, this is Long Island, New York, allegedly rigged the May 19 trustee election by smuggling official ballots out of her office and handing absentee ballots to incumbent candidate Victor Pratt So he could trash them, according to a 51-page petition filed by the district with the state education department. She now faces criminal charges as the district is looking to overturn Pratt's, what was it again? Oh, that's right. That razor-thin win. Sort of like Joe Biden. Right? Like in Pennsylvania, when I went to bed on election night 2020, and I looked at my oldest sons, and they're like, it's looking good, Mom. It's looking good. And I was like, phew, Trump's up by 700,000, thank God. And I woke up and he lost by 80,555. In what world? Right? And then when I commented on it, I got fired. Isn't that cool how that works? Yeah. I like that. Keyes could now face criminal charges as the district is looking to overturn Pratt's razor-thin win. He's the third-term trustee, former school board president, who moonlights as a local DJ under the stage named DJ Vic Lover, according to his social media. Okay, whatever. What are you doing? What are you doing? So they got to redo this whole vote. They got to figure out what to do with this chick who somehow this is fascinating. So there's a big like rolling trash can, right? And in the rolling trash can, somebody comes in and sees her going to the ballots, and she's throwing them into this big rolling trash can, right? And so the guy's like whistleblowing, and he's like, wait, what are you doing? And he calls the authorities or what have you. They come in, they secure her room, make sure that trash can doesn't get removed, right? Oh, until it does. So the custodian, the woman in charge, this April Keyes babe, she pays off a custodian to go in, like hide, like Mission Impossible. Dun, dun, dun. He's avoiding all the cameras, and he wheels out this stuff, and he takes out the ballots. And then because he's stupid, the way most cons go, he takes the bag of the ballots and he throws them in the dumpster right behind nobody will look for it here. No. And he throws the thing in and they come in and they find all of the missing ballots, right? It's like Dumb and Dumber. I mean, literally Scooby and Shaggy could have pulled off something better than these clowns. This is a small, localized example of how easy it is to get ballots. Quick, throw it in here. Or when you show up at the polling place, the voting place, and they're like, oh, you're a Republican. Huh. Well, it seems here that you've already voted. And you're like, well, that's funny because I don't vote by mail. I vote in person. Well, no matter. We'll fix this problem. Here, take this provisional ballot, fill it out, and we'll put it in this little special bin over here, which we'll incinerate later. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because you know damn well that's right. And this is what this president is trying to stop. If some twit and some school election, whatever, can pull it off or try to, imagine what's been going on forever and ever. So that kind of brings us to this question. Like, how much fraud is acceptable to you? Is it just, there's a little bit, 10%? Like, how do you quantify that? Because my thing is zero. That's zero, right? Zero fraud. And our friends over at Deepfake Quotes on X have a little anonymous video that kind of go piggyback with that.
Fraudulent petitioners on Skid Row are now paying the homeless to forge names, forge addresses, and forge signatures of registered voters.
How much fraud is acceptable? Some argue voter fraud is rare. Maybe it is, but that's the wrong question. The question is, how much fraud is acceptable? 10 votes, 100, 1,000? History shows elections can be decided by just a few hundred votes. If an organized group steals enough ballots to change the outcome, they haven't just broken the law. They've overturned the will of the voters. In Los Angeles, investigators uncovered people allegedly paying homeless individuals to fraudulently complete voter registrations and ballots in other people's names. Those cases resulted in criminal prosecutions. Now ask yourself, if verifying identity would prevent that kind of fraud, why wouldn't we want to verify identity? If some eligible citizens don't have the required identification, help them get it, protect their vote, and protect everyone else's vote too. Because democracy isn't just about making voting easy. It's about making every legitimate vote count exactly once. My friends, We are all anonymous.
80% of Americans want secure elections.
I think every American ought to be able to vote. The SAVE Act is a voter suppression bill.
How is it a voter suppression bill when it simply requires proof of citizenship and a photo ID?
Listen, non-citizens are already prevented from voting in our election. Show me all these illegal people.
Well, just look at California.
Where are they?
Just look at California.
Ma'am,
Homeless people are
I've answered.
homeless people are being paid to vote.
Name and outlet.
Allison Steinberg, Glendale TV. Thank you very much.
Run away from me, Raphael Warnock, the same way Willow Wuss, White Bread Zero, John Thune ran away from Scott Pressler. It's a bad look, don't you think? All right, now if you're new to the show, we do this only on Fridays, and it's my favorite part of the whole. Cute. Okay. So a year ago, when we covered this story then, Steve Hartman introduced us to Dexter, the bicolor bipedal Brittany Spaniel, who was a minor celebrity in Colorado. But since then, we can say Dexter's gotten way bigger as he has pranced across the nation. Enjoy. So cute. In Ouray, Colorado, getting knocked down, right? You guys have watched me get knocked down over and over again. And what do? You keep fighting, keep standing up. Go Dexter. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, do not miss Bad Joke Friday. Next. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with that audio. Do you know what it is? Why it does that? It's so aggravating. And you jumped up so fast to fix it. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. It just was going pop, 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 pop. All right, so let's see. Who have I not spoken about that I want to tell you guys about? I think I hit all of my fantastic sponsors. So if you have not hit the follow button yet, what that does for you, if you like what we've been doing, the part that you've been seeing and you're new, and if you are new, drop a comment, share a comment, tell us where you're from, tell us who you are, because this is a really nice group of people.
How you found us?
Yeah. How did you find us? Was it just looking at Rumble and you saw they put us in the big box? I'd love, literally in the comments section, you're on Rumble already. I'd love to hear where you're from. Follow button. Look, we don't bother you. We're not going to bug you with notifications. We just tell you when we're live. And at most, it's 7 times a week. It's every day, Monday through Friday, from 12 to 3, but beginning August 17th, because we just got picked up live by 23 radio stations, which is super exciting. We're going to change our time, so it's a little bit better. We're going to 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. So that starts August 17th. But you don't even have to know that if you follow us, because you'll get a notification. And then, like I said, tomorrow, Brock does Pet Talk with the Pet Doc with Dr. Mike Hutchinson. And you can literally jump in the stream and you can ask a question about your cat, your dog, your what have you. And Brock moderates it. He co-hosts it with Dr. Mike. And he brings up your questions, and you get literally free and creme de la creme medical advice from a world-renowned veterinarian. And then on Sunday, if you want to, I mean, it's 7 a.m., but we send out a notification, and it just says Wendy Bell Radio is live, and it's just literally us kind of sitting in the pre-dawn dark in our respective homes in the same split screen that we're in now. But we usually talk about, we might have a few foul words that come out, some frustration. But
Harley will be there this week.
Harley will.
Yeah.
We have a little girl who watches us and knows how to say the Pledge of Allegiance with us.
And Archie just said accidentally found you.
Who?
Preston Archie.
Hi. Well, I'm so glad you did.
Here's the question, though.
How?
Did you hit that follow button?
And then Sunday we'll be on at 7. But it's only for an hour before you go to church or what have you. And we have a nice time. But I think the cool thing about this show is our weekends or our commercial breaks, because we like to interact with you guys. That's what I like to do.
That's what makes us different.
So let's see if we got if we pimp hoard any 2.16. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, it's super helpful for us. I'm already stacked with advertisers because of you guys. So there's not that many radio shows that are totally sold out, but we pretty much are because of you guys. But that matters. That number matters. So if you wouldn't mind finding that little bubble underneath the video box and clicking the thumbs up, that would be great.
I found you on Rumble about a year ago.
Oh.
Kay Maloney. I have
Oh.
followed ever since. Love your Sunday show. See? That's what happens. You have to hit that follow button so you're reminded.
Hello, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Myron is there. Hello, F.J. Nelson. It's great to see you. Hi, Enheims or Hims.
John Best 73. I found you when Dan Bongino was on vacation.
Hi,
One of
Wendy.
the reasons we work.
SM Bergstedt. Hi, Wendy. I'm from Pittsburgh, and your son Michael knows my daughter. I started listening a couple years ago and don't miss an episode. I love you and Brock. Frederick Douglas writes, I was following you on Newsmax. You were a standout then and even more now. Thank you. Very nice of you to say.
Henry 04, you too. My first time here at WBR.
Yay! Welcome.
Follow button.
So good to have you. Kathy Puravita. I'm in the heart of Texas, burkas and data centers. Blue, so blue. Trust me, I know. We're in freaking Allegheny County where we got a county executive who on day one jacked up our property taxes by 33%. Part of the week, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just flew in from New York, and boy, my arm's tired. I'm joking, of course. Anywho, welcome to the Comedy Club. Won't you give it up to Wendy and Brock for Bad Joke Friday?
Well, let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. The first joke always by our friend Dr. Richard Rafferty at the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh, and it goes like this. A guy says to his buddy, my wife says the dryer has been shrinking her clothes. A friend says, well, I hope you didn't say anything stupid. The guy says, of course not. I told her it ain't the dryer. It's a refrigerator. Oh, that's naughty.
Facts.
Oh,
An elderly patient gets hearing aids from a doctor. After a short period of time, he meets the doctor again. Doctor, your hearing is perfect. Your family must really be pleased, patient. Oh, I haven't told my family. I haven't told my family yet. I just sit there and listen to their conversations. I've already changed my will 3 times in just 1 month.
Wow. See, Brock
Sounds about right.
he needs to proofread. So is Google male or female? Do you guys know?
It's got to be female.
Female, because it doesn't let you finish a sentence before making a suggestion.
Priest driving down the road when he comes across a dead pig in the road. He contacted the police to inform them of his find. A cocky desk sergeant laughed and said, did you give him his last rites? No, said the priest. I thought I'd call his next of kin first.
Oh, snap. I was drinking a martini and the waitress screamed, does anyone know CPR? And I yelled, I know the entire alphabet. And we all laughed and laughed, except for one person.
That's funny. I went on a date the other day with a woman who works at the zoo. I think she's a keeper.
Oh, my God. What do you call a bee that can't make up its mind? A maybe.
Oh, God.
I know.
Oh, this is dark.
Uh-oh.
I got my blind friend a cheese grater for his birthday. He said it was the He said it was the most violent book he ever read.
I got invited to a party to meet women. I was told I should dress to kill. Apparently, a turban, beard, and a vest weren't acceptable.
That's horrible. Did you hear Ilhan Omar wants to go to Philadelphia?
No.
Yeah, she heard it's the city of brotherly love.
Oh, sucks. My wife was complaining I was watching some of the World Cup. Qatar versus Switzerland. She says, you can't even name 3 Qatari players. I said, sure I can. Hendricks, Clapton, Roy Clark.
That's bad.
That is bad.
How do you tell a European airline from an American airline? A European airline has hair under its wings.
I've been with my wife far longer than I was with my parents. So whatever is wrong with me is her fault. Probably right.
Guaranteed. Little Johnny took one bite, then immediately started a family war at the dinner table.
Oh.
Everyone was seated at the table as food was being served. When little Johnny received his plate, he started eating right away. Johnny, wait till we said our prayer. His mother reminded him. I don't have to, little Johnny replied. Of course you do, his mother insisted. We say a prayer before eating at our house. That's at our house, Johnny explained. But this is Grandma's house, and she knows how to cook.
Oh, ouch.
Oh, that's harsh.
You know, sure, I drink brake fluid from time to time, but I can stop anytime.
I'm out.
That's stupid. Okay, here we go. Hillary Clinton.
Oh, boy.
Visited an elementary school in New York to talk to the kids about the world. After her talk, she asked if there were any questions. One little boy puts up his hand. He says his name is Kenneth. And what's your question, Kenneth? She asks. Well, I have 3 questions, he says. First, what happened in Benghazi? Second, why did you run for president if you're not even capable of handling 2 email accounts? And third, what happened to the missing $6 billion while you were Secretary of State? Just then the bell rings for recess. Hillary tells the kids that it will continue after recess. When they resume, Hillary says, okay, where were we? Oh, that's right. Question time. Who has a question? This time a different boy, little Johnny, puts up his hand. And what's your question, Johnny? She asks. He says, well, I actually have 5 questions. First, what happened in Benghazi? Second, why did you run for president if you're not capable of handling 2 email accounts? Third, what happened to the missing $6 billion while you were Secretary of State? Fourth, why did the recess bell go off 20 minutes early? And fifth, where the hell is Kenneth?
That's fun.
I'm sweating. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's it for another week of the Wendy Bell radio program. I love that you've been here. Have a wonderful weekend. I love you guys. Peace.